Hello, hello, hello. Who do we have out there in the void of space tonight for another very special live stream? We're here, and I'm joined once again by Aaron and Marek.
Hello.
It's a big day today, guys.
Oh, it's a very, very exciting day.
And this, of course, is the moment we've been waiting for a while, but this is the day that we'll be releasing VS2, Planets and Survival Foundations.
Oh, just the beginning of the experience.
It is. But I say it's honestly, guys, we want to get it out released, but still, we're going to go over a couple of points to cover. And I'll also take it to Marek. Marek, how are you feeling to reach this point after nearly 1 year of early access for Space Engineers 2?
Yeah, excited and satisfied, but also ready for the next.
Ready for what comes next, yeah. And we are going to actually talk a little bit about what comes next as well. So that's, we always obviously talk a lot about what we have today, but we also give a little bit of a sneak peek or at least a reminder of what we still have on the roadmap. So let's dive into it here. I'm just going to bring this up because we have so many things to get through. But it's guys, can I get like a hype rating in the chat? Like, how are you guys feeling out of 10 right now?
We know they're excited. They've seen all the previews. They've seen all the videos. the chat's just filled with "release it now. We need it now."
Yeah, just be quiet and release the update. Well, look, guys, we have your attention, so we've really got to get through some of the biggest news and key points here. But I love to see the hype. This is amazing. So. It is the biggest update yet for Space Engineers 2, and this is where it really starts to become a real survival game. Planets, progression, colonization, story foundations, and the first version of kind of all the core systems working together here. So that's what VS2 is going to be about, and it is this first step in the kind of survival gameplay direction, and you guys have to keep in mind that this will improve from here, and maybe Aaron, you can touch on that.
I was going to say, this is a great time to get into Space Engineers 2. Just like in Space Engineers 1, veterans will remember when we first started out, we started adding features. As Marek, you said before, is we kind of building the game together with them. As they give us feedback, they support us, we take that feedback, we feed it into our development team, and we're almost creating this project together, and it's beautiful. It's a labor of love almost, really. Not meaning to plug the Space Engineers 1. But if you want to go onto Steam and help us out there, you can do as well. But it's an amazing update, this one. The planets are beautiful, they look incredible, they respond to your inputs when you're damaging ships, you're flying across them. Your jaw is going to drop.
And that's one of the really cool things about this, which is already going to be a little bit different from SE1, is going to be the introduction to the story. And that's something really exciting, and something that when I first checked it out, I really brought a smile to my face. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those first reactions from you guys.
Well, we've never had a story before, so this is uncharted territory, isn't it, Marek, a little bit? What are you expecting out of this story? Well, how do you think the players are going to react to it?
Yeah, well, I hope they would like it and get excited about the story as it unfolds. In VS2, of course, it's just the first step in the story, and we will be doing I would say probably a vertical slice dedicated just to story sometime in the future when all the systems will be ready.
And another big part, which is also, again, a totally new thing, is colonization. And that is something I'm really excited about. I can't wait to colonize. It's going to be great.
But on top of that, another massive feature is the accessibility. I don't know if you want to touch on that, Marek, a little bit, about getting new players into the game and getting them in easily.
Yeah. So one of the main things for SE2 when compared to SE1 is actually much more focus on accessibility and mainstream appeal. And I also want to highlight that this is not about making the game less complex or less complicated or dumber. No, it's not. It's just basically having a layer that will make it more accessible, more intuitive. And so that's one of the priorities that we have for SE2. And in VS2, I think we did few things in the direction that we'll be discussing today.
Very good. Well, I don't want to go too much into that because we're going to go into greater detail a little bit further on.
We're going to blast through these points, guys. I know you want to get your hands on it, so we're going to get to it. It's not very many minutes more. So, and that's the other big thing. So we are going to talk just a little bit here, even about what's coming next. And of course, after this, we have larger vertical slices, VS3, VS4, VS5, etc. But there will be smaller updates in between that. And what will come next is actually VS 2.2. So, Mario, maybe you want to tell the players a little bit what's going to come after this update. And VS 2.2 is also really exciting. So let's, I'm not sure if you want to share some of the things.
Yeah, so some of that I can. So VS 2.2 will be released in a few months, and it will double down on what we are starting in with VS 2. So, like deeper colonization system being more prominent in the gameplay, and also the colonization loop being the more prominent part of the game. Another important part is new contract types. So you will be able to have a new type of, challenges and also rewards, because there will be guns. So there will be contracts where you have to defend something or where you have to attack something, and so on. So and also the contracts will be more rich in terms of what you can do in them. So that's that. And there are many other things. For example, piston and some of the mechanical blocks. Then what else?
Well, that's actually a really big one. I know a lot of players are really excited for mechanical blocks.
They are craving for them.
Rotors, pistons, they're coming, guys, and that's going to be another big part of 2.2.
And you were mentioning the other day as well, once these blocks do come in, it'll be a mech builder's dream.
It's going to be, yeah. We're going to see that.
2.2. We're not quite there yet.
Not there yet, but just want to give you guys a brief look at still what's going to be coming after this. So, and then as we go through this here, we've kind of covered the colonization updates here, and I mean, again, it's part of that is these goals, these challenges, this sense of progression. This is something that is a big reason why we did colonization, and this system has got so much potential that we're going to be tapping into more and more and more with the following updates. So it's very, very exciting indeed.
Yeah. And I will explain what's behind the colonization.
Yeah.
So I think Space Engineers needs something that will make you feel like you are progressing somewhere, and there is some measurable way how you can feel that you are progressing. And colonization is the mechanism or the system that, through the contracts as the units of colonization, makes that possible. And we can do multiple types of contracts, but in the end they are just contracts, and they can help you colonize as much as one sector at a time. The system also will work in single player, co-op, and multiplayer, of course in different ways, because in single player you have also story. In multiplayer, I mean the sandbox multiplayer, there will not be story. So, and all these things need to work together, and to me it seems that the colonization system answers all the questions that I actually had myself for Space Engineers for the last few years, where I felt that it actually needs to be a game. There needs to be some meta loop that is motivating you to go forward and to actually see visually and in very simple way that you are progressing, not just like building something and having this internal or intrinsic motivation that, okay, I built something and I feel happy. But sometimes for many people it's actually better when there is this very explicit way that tells you and shows you that yes, you are progressing, you see nice numbers and colors and you see yourself progressing. So I hope colonization system answers this.
Now, there was also, are you going to touch on this, a player's quote that you spotted, Marek? Did you want to congratulate the player on a real good description of SE1 and SE2 when it comes to engineering?
Yeah. So this is by Clowreed48. And so if he's here, I really want to thank him for that quote. We found it in some YouTube comments. Vasek sent it to me, and I really like it. So basically the quote is that Space Engineers 1 is a game about engineering. Space Engineers 2 is a game with engineering. And I think this describes actually the vision behind SE2 better than, how we phrased it until now. And so again, we don't want to reduce the engineering or make it dumber or whatever, but in Space Engineers 2, it will be just one of the things. And it should be a game where there is some engineering, or it's a game with engineering, but also with many other things. So thank you for this quote.
Yeah, it was really, really nailed
it. Magical little quote there.
So, and on that, I mean, just a huge thank you to all the players for joining early in this development, supporting the development and shaping the direction of Space Engineers 2. With all the feedback, all the suggestions, the team's already acted on many of those, that feedback already. And this, again, with VS2 is going to be super important that you guys let us know how those first experiences are on planets and the colonization system. This is going to be really key.
And remember, the best way you can do that is through our support site as well. So get yourself on there, write down your feedback, write down your bug reports, capture it, record it, send us the game files, make sure you have a little bit of evidence as well so we can track it back and understand exactly how that bug's occurred or what sort of feedback you want to happen and how, you know, how we'd best execute it.
Exactly. And on that, just to always a reminder that Space Engineers 1 development continues in parallel. And I think it's another moment to shout out the amazing teams working on both games.
Oh yeah.
Both are doing really well, and there's so many exciting things happening. So I know for Marek, he wanted again just give a massive shout out to all the team out there watching and not watching.
Yes. I really wanted to thanks to the SC1 and SC2 team, to SC1 team, because without them this wouldn't be possible, because you know, like, we wouldn't be able to work on SC2.
Yeah.
And thanks to SC2 team that was really pushing hard until this last moment. And it felt like, to me, it feels actually magical when everybody in the team is pulling in the right direction, doesn't need to be pushed. They just want to do it because they want to deliver the best game ever. And yeah, that's so thanks to both teams.
Perfect.
Okay. So jumping into a quick recap
of
all of the things that have happened up to VS2.
Take it away, Aaron.
Okay, so we've had the beautiful VS1 where our core building blocks and unified grid system was introduced. Then we had the smaller weekly updates. I remember these, crafting these together. We had the showers, we had all these lovely thrusters coming at you at once. And then we had 1.5, that was all about modding tools. We had modding guides. And of course, we've got more of that to do in the future as well. And now we're at VS2. Survival systems, planets, progression, and story foundations.
Perfectly summarized. And rest assured, guys, the team is readying the update as we speak. I know they're hard at work, making sure everything's going to go off smoothly without a hitch. So sit tight. It's not going to be much longer here before you get that update. And the key focus for today, of course, VS2, there's 2 planets. You're going to have Verdure and Chemic, they're fully explorable, beautiful planets, amazing biomes. You're going to see more pictures and actually, obviously, playing it very shortly here. And the colonization, the survival systems that you now have, projection building, backpack building, resources, grid power caves, volumetric clouds, tons of new blocks, survival tools, and improved workflows. I mean, this is... Even there's a whole mouthful there, so that's really summarized today. And then Marek, maybe we can we already mentioned looking ahead again, but just again looking ahead a bit beyond VS 2.2, but also what's going to come on the grand scale of Space Engineers 2.
So VS 2.2 we just basically started to work on today, and some people probably a couple of weeks ago, and the plan is to work on it during December and January. In February to wrap it up, polish it, and then release it, let's say in March, if you're lucky, and if nothing holds us. And then the teams will split. So some people will work on VS3, some people will work on VS4. Actually, the split is already now because some people are resuming the work on VS3, the water, right now. And so what will happen in the Q2 or Q3 is that we'll be finishing VS3 water and we'll be finishing VS4 NPCs and cooperative multiplayer. So those are the big things that you will get, I hope, during the next year. But we'll do our best to make it possible.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to NPCs. I think they will add, and I'm talking about human NPCs. They will add a lot to the gameplay and new challenges and new rewards and new ways how to play and what to experience. And also the water, for the reasons that we've been working on it for a long time. It's a complicated or complex feature, and we need the closure, like we need to finish it, we need to release it. And I think it will bring completely new type of experience to Space Engineers universe, and actually I think to gaming as well, because it will add a new type of environment or new type of substance that you can play with and that interacts with you and with other things. And so I think the water will be a big feature. And then of course after VS3 and VS4 there will be like the big multiplayer VS5, and then probably there will be some vertical slices where we'll focus on like wrapping it up together, doing the story pass, so having the story missions that you can play alongside of the sandbox. And then I think the game will be finished and we will start the continual support like we are doing with Space Engineers.
Yeah, the core gameplay, the core loop there. So I mean, yeah, there's huge things there, guys. Water, NPCs, cooperative multiplayer, and then later on full-blown multiplayer as well coming. So lots of good things still to look forward to here. And now we're into the last section before we launch the update here. We're just going to go over again some of the key things to keep in mind here. So Aaron, do you want to take us away here on the list?
So remember, the Steam Awards are running at the moment, and we do have entries for both games, Space Engineers 1 and Space Engineers 2. So if you could head over there and cast a vote for us, that would be incredible and support us even further. Then on top of that, remember, we have refreshed the Pioneer Edition. So it's been updated with new music, new tracks. We've got a fabulous art book. It's beautiful flicking through them pages, so you're going to have to check that out. And of course, we have new... What do we have new? A new certain item, is engineer shaped.
Plushie.
That's the moment.
That's the moment.
Are we doing the reveal?
We're doing the reveal. So we have a new plushie, guys. Marek's going to reveal it right now. There it is. The Space Engineers 2 plushie.
There he is. He's beautiful. He's got that new helmet shape. And if we just quickly go into the behind the scenes of crafting this one, Marek, we wanted him very different from the original one, didn't we? So there was quite a bit of work on the belt and the helmet choices.
I love the glow. The helmet's awesome.
This is not just the SC1 plushie. This one is different and represents how the new SC2 suite looks like.
So should I give a close-up?
Yeah, so this is part of the Makeship campaign, and there's also going to be some new posters on Zazzle as well. So remember to check that out. And there's going to be more information in Marek's weekly dev diaries as well. So you make sure you check them out and you subscribe to the newsletter so you have the latest and greatest information from Keen Software House and our projects.
And the SC2 plushie will also get as a model or as a block to SC1.
Very nice.
Yes, that's another big surprise. We always come with some surprises. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. There'll be
another plushie for Space Engineers 1. Very nice indeed.
Good stuff, good stuff. So yeah, I think there'll be links. People will be able to find those links quite easily shortly.
And on top of that, remember, if you're not picking up Space Engineers 2 for VS2, even though it'd be an incredible time, make sure you stick it on your wish list as well.
Yeah, and I think we've almost wrapped this up here. I think we've covered, as always, there's going to be continued information being released in the newsletter and Marek's blog. I mean, both in kind of text format and video format. So we're going to continue that drive information so you guys always know what's going on, for both games actually, and what's kind of coming. I think it kind of goes without saying, but in terms of seeing people's builds, we're so excited to see the kind of workshop builds, the screenshots, the videos, all the content. So definitely, once you guys are out there building, be sure to tag us out there on socials, #SpaceEngineers2, and we'd love to see your first steps on planets and Space Engineers 2.
I'm hoping to see videos of people's builds, all the creations, and we'll be taking a good look at these. And in the future, we're hoping to do a competition seeing some people's first bases, their first creations. So when we have more information on that, we'll announce it as well.
So I think we just have a last point, to make here. And I think I'll let Marek kind of cover this one in terms of just encouraging you guys to... actually, no, I think you covered this already, but in terms of, being ready to buy Space Engineers 2, right? I'm not sure if you want to expand a little bit on that, Marek, in terms of how it supports.
Yeah. So for players who don't want to, or who want to wait more, basically for those that VS2 is not ready enough, I think, very okay for them to wait or wishlist the game now. And for those who want to jump in and support and accelerate the development of Space Engineers 2, I think it's a good time to buy it now and start playing and giving us feedback. And also, I would like to see the players creating their bases on Verdure and Chemic and posting it everywhere. I'm really interested in all the special places that they will find and build their base. But again, I think, if you don't want to buy the game now because it's too early, wishlist it. And if you want and you think VS2 is the right time, then I think you should buy it and give it a try and then give us feedback.
And remember, you can always support us further by upgrading to the Pioneer Edition if you feel like it. There is some great content in there. That art book is beautiful.
Yeah, the team kind of gathered a lot of new materials for that. It's really, really good stuff. So on that point, guys, we have reached the point where we're going to roll the trailer here. very shortly. And yeah, it's a very exciting moment. I just wanted to say, no, I think that was everything. Just to look ahead, guys, at today's stream, we're going to be joined by a couple of guests. We're going to go over the update in detail, and we're going to answer your questions as well later on. There's going to be a whole Q&A session because I know there's going to be questions. So stick about definitely if you want to learn more about what went into this update. And yeah, also be really happy to address any more community thoughts and things that come up. So without further chatter, should we do the honors, Marek?
Yeah. Let's play the trailer.
All right, let's do it. Let's get some hype in the chat. Trailer hype. Here we go. We're right in. In 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, engineer. With the Vertical Slice 1.5 update for Space Engineers 2, players can now create, modify, and share mods with others. Create new functional and armor blocks. Character models.
Hold on.
Skyboxes.
This is a kind of a...
Accessible block animations.
I can. Hold on. That's so... And there we have it. We got to the right trailer in the end. Welcome back. And now we are also joined by Chenda. Chenda, can you hear us? I think you might be muted. Hello, Chenda.
Hey, Joel. I can hear you.
Hey, we hear you, man. Perfect. So welcome to the stream, Chenda. We just finished playing the trailer, the right trailer in the end, but we're now going to do the honors. Marek was going to do the honors of releasing this massive update.
Yes, so Vlado and Vasek unleash the release.
Unleash it!
Oh, yes.
Amazing. So you guys should be getting that into your downloads very shortly here. And please do dive in and get stuck in. And we're really looking forward to those first impressions here. And we brought Chenda here today because he's a very talented individual. He is, in fact, the technical director for Space Engineers 2. So Chenda, how does it feel to, again, reach this point, this huge day for Space Engineers 2, Planets and Survivor Foundations?
Hey, Joel. Hey, Marek and Aaron. It's great to have you. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Chendo.
It's great to be here. It's great to be releasing this update. We were working on this like almost a year, right? Because like alongside of the other minor updates to VS1, we were focusing all the time on the planets and lots of features, gameplay features, and other improvements to get you this update. So it's really exciting to have it out.
And what was some of the, because obviously Space Engineers 2 in general, it's been working to be revolutionary in every way possible. So what were the biggest challenges for this update, Chenda, specifically?
Well, obviously the planets themselves, that's a huge technical challenge. It was challenge in SE1 as well. And now, thanks to our new engine and also kind of like better hardware that we are targeting, we can bring you much higher fidelity planets with lots of cool new features and improvements. So that was definitely the biggest challenge.
And of course, I think some of the other big things, I'm going to actually get at the blog post here shortly here, so we can see some of these amazing images. I guess I'm sure the community would love to know some of the the new tech that's gone into this. I mean, obviously we have stunning planets and volumetric clouds. There's so many good things. So we'd love to hear a little bit more into what the team put in to make these planets so special.
Yeah, sure. So there were like lots of topics to improve or to look into. Essentially, we took SC1 planets as a basis. We actually built on top of them, and we've redone essentially every part of it. So in the end, like from the code perspective, it's very different. And we kind of like took broke down each feature in SC1 that planets had and wrote a wish list what we would like to improve, what would make the planets look really next generation. And like we touched on like detail of the terrain. Like right now it's much more detailed. It's not I would say even like 16 times more detail, let's say, if we put it into the numbers. And of course, since it's height map based, we also kind of figured that just having it as one value for each position on the planet is not enough. That adding some more features on top of it that would break the uniformity would be really interesting. So we created system for caves and overhangs on the planet. So they are no longer just the height. They can get some digs into the planets or some overhangs that are spanning or creating some nicer features on the mountains, for example.
I know the players are particularly excited by caves. We've released some really nice videos, and again, recently there was an interview with Chenda guys, which you should definitely check out if you haven't seen already. I mean, the Space Engineers YouTube channel is full of content, so some of these things were really highlighted already in great detail. But yeah, it's an honor to have Chenda here again, just again for this amazing day here. So caves was something that was really cool, and yeah, the overhangs. I mean, just seeing those on a planet, it's immediately a big difference from the original Space Engineers.
Yeah, and for example, the screenshots that you have here that shows quite a number of.
Yeah, I'm going to find some here. I'm going to try and find these. We're going to go through this a little bit more here, but just again, these are all just showing the stunning variety of the planets here. These screenshots are absolutely amazing. I mean, some of these they look like someone took them with a photo. It's really. I like of a camera in the real world. It's stunning. Look at that mountaintop there. So I think we're looking at some clouds right now, actually, Chenda. So maybe we can touch on clouds, how the cloud tech came about.
Yeah. So one of the features that SC1 had were also clouds, but they were just a thin layer, right? Which was just created by artists. which was, when you got close, it wasn't really believable. So we kind of said that it's to make it more, let's say, realistic, we should add some volumetricity. So although it's still in the hands of our artists, so they are defining the shapes of clouds and they are defining areas on the planet where the clouds should be more and where there should be mostly like clear day, which is mostly in desert, for example. It's rendered then in like volumetricities, so using remarching, which adds these nice fluffy clouds everywhere. And we chose to position them kind of not above the mountains, but you can actually walk into the clouds and of course flying into the clouds, and like it looks amazing, really.
No, I mean I say, like, we're looking at this right now, and this is one of the biggest things in terms of just the feeling of the world. And I mean, I was playing it just yesterday, and it's amazing also how the cloud cover kind of varies as well. You get times where
You get lost in it, don't you? You
Yeah.
fly into them. Because some of the clouds that you went into yesterday were thicker and wider, and then some of them were thinner. What's the tech behind that, Chando? Like, how are they just randomly generated?
It's lots of noise and some artist provided materials combined together to kind of make it not repeating, make it like kind of, and also not random, not chaotic. So it's a interesting tech. It's actually based on the technology that is in what's the game, survival game with these automatons, with these creatures, Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, they released quite a lot of technical materials about it, so we
interesting.
it is a basis.
Just a bit of a shout out there. Perfect. And I said what we're doing is, because I'm actually looking, we actually have so many. What I'm going to do is really quick, guys, because there's so much to get through today. I'm actually just going to read over these different biomes so you can see them here. You can definitely look over this, in your own time here. But and you'll see this on the stream in a second, Chenda. So looking at the biomes we have, there's 12 biomes. We have tundra, we have taiga, if I pronounce that right. That looks amazing. Temperate zone here. High mountains, which we were looking at there with the clouds. Savanna, another stunning vibe. Desert. And as you guys know, like, South Africa was a big inspiration for designing planets. There was a great video that we put out not too long ago. So you might see some similarities there. We have volcanic wastelands. Look at that. That's
good.
amazing.
Them trees, though. That barren trees in that soil. Oh, it's good. It's good. I'd want to build in the barren wasteland like that.
Oh man. And we have the coast, and of course, some people may have seen from the videos, this is prepared for water. You won't see any water yet, but you can definitely see where the water will go. We'll put it that way. And then water biomes, shallow waters, deep ocean, and abyss. So there's so many things that you can guys already find by looking at the height map here. So that's just some of the different biomes there. And then on the planets themselves, Chenda, we also have kind of like these I say wonders of the world or something like this, right? Like really beautiful voxel structures, if that makes sense.
Yeah, since we added like more detailed terrain, possibility for more detailed terrain, artists could leverage it to actually place real height maps on the planets from like planet Earth. So I'm not sure whether I can reveal it, Marek. Like there are some.
We can show, I think.
Yeah.
We have them here. So in the first up, we have the Echo Canyon.
The list is in the blog post.
Yeah. So
and actually not all of it got into the blog post, only the main one. So there are still some unknown areas that. So what I'm talking about is that we use some real world locations from Earth, as places that you can find or verdure. Of course, it's not like one-to-one replica because we wanted to have some kind of like originality and so on. But there are some places that we use as inspiration. So Yeah, let's go through
We have
the
a
list.
look through the list because there's an impressive list here. So we have the Echo Canyon inspired by the Grand Canyon. We have the Golden Plateau inspired by the lowest plateau in northern China. Look at that. And again, Chandler, we're seeing this stunning sky with the clouds, the sunrise, the sunset. I mean, it's honestly just magic. It's just magical, honestly. We have the Dust-Spire Desert inspired by the Atacama Desert, northern Chile, South America. Look at that there. There's a lot of wallpaper material here, I'll say that much.
Well, just flying through some of them canyons, like the Grand Canyon, we've seen some players already preview flying through the canyon with the ship, going close to the ground, risking it all with that increased acceleration that you can get now in Space Engineers 2. So, we can't let you pilot the ship. Let's go.
That's true. Keep me away. Next up here, we have Table Mountain from Cape Town. And again, Marek, I say this big inspiration for you. And it's how does it feel seeing it in game?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's stunning.
And once you will be able to build there, and especially for people who, let's say, I'm sure there are some players who are from Cape Town watching it now, so they will recognize their monument there. So I think they will enjoy it. I think they will have to find it because it's not always so easy to find these places, to be honest. Even on the playtest videos when we wanted to review them, it's like, okay, let's find the Table Mountain, but like, where is it? Because the planet is still huge, so you actually spend a lot of time to finding it.
And I think players are going to be doing that for a while, honestly. Like, finding the best spots to build bases, it's going to take a lot to actually find all these hidden gems, all these spots out there. So we're just going through the full list here. We have the Cinder Peaks. So this is the Cederberg Mountains, Western Cape, South Africa as well. Here we go. There's some great text here. I am scrolling over this, guys, but please do go over this blog post, in your own time as well. Inferno Crater. What a name. And look at that. And look at the sky again. Inspired by a set of famous volcanoes on Earth. I mean, that's the other thing, Chenda, that maybe we can draw this to in terms of like lighting on planets, right? There's some new lighting tech, and when it's dark, it's really dark. So I don't know if there's anything you want to kind of cover about how lighting, you guys kind of improve lighting for planets?
I think the main improvement here was like fixing or improving our atmosphere shader. So it actually creates these nice red sunsets and sundowns. And like throughout the day, it actually progresses as it does, which now nicely connects to lighting of all the features in the game. Like, for example, clouds are very nicely reacting to the atmosphere or the terrain itself as well. So I think that's the biggest improvement here.
I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to. Is just all the screenshots. We've got the ones that are made by official keen people. We have ones that are made by creators, but it's about to go crazy. So please, guys, share all the beauty spots that you find, and that actually comes to the end. Again, not the full list, as Marek said, but some of the highlights of different spots on the planets here. And we'll get into the. Let me go over here. Well, this is again just covering the future, and of course mentioning how water is coming, and it's going to look very different when all these areas are filled with lakes and oceans. It's going to be crazy.
Be careful, remember, about building on that seabed.
Oh, I know. Suddenly the great flood comes. There you go. And there's actually, there's some more here. We've got a few more. There's a couple more stunning ones. We have the Azure Cliffs, inspired, I'm going to butcher this name, the Calanques National Park near Marseille, southern France. Look at that. Huge mountains there. I like this picture as well. Frosty waterfalls, inspired by the Dettifoss waterfalls in Iceland.
So actually this happened after we did a road trip to Iceland and spent 1 week, circling Iceland and visiting these major waterfalls. And Dettifoss, if my memory works, is the waterfall that was actually used in the Prometheus movie. And where the guy, this creator, he eats something and then he dies. So actually they shot it there. So of course I had to visit that.
Yeah, you had to check that spot out.
And then we decided why not have it on the Verger.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, and that's the thing with these shots here, that it's so varied. There's so many different biomes and terrains. It's really stunning. And I say, I actually had a question for the chat, but I've gone blank now. Oh yeah, I wanted to say, have any of you guys been to any of these locations that you've seen on, in VS2 here, but in real life? I'm really curious. I know I've been to a few of them.
So I'd be surprised if people can't find an amazing base location. I think the issue that they're going to have is they find an amazing base location, and then when they find a better one, and then they move to that new location.
Amazing.
Maybe a good question would be, where would you want to build your first base?
Yeah, like looking at this list, I mean, we've looked at a few. Do any ones really stand out for you guys as like a spot for your first base?
I'm all about that cave living. I want one of
cave
them
life?
nice cave life, yeah.
You have another South Africa one here, the Silent Cove, inspired by Ellen Bay. I'm sure, Marek, I'm sure there's another story behind this one, right?
Yeah, I have a friend who lives there, so we spent there a week, and where we were working or testing the drones, and it was really fun time. And I like the area. It's very, like, you feel very isolated from the civilization when we were there. And there is actually, in the real world, there is ocean behind those mountains. There is some cave with cave paintings and so on. So I really like the place and just wanted to memorize it in our game.
That's amazing. And say, for you to have that experience and see it in game, it must be special, really special. We still have some more. We still have some amazing spots here. So now the Isles, inspired by Madeira, Portuguese island in the Atlantic Ocean. I've always wanted to go. Have you been to Madeira?
Actually, this happened after our trip to Madeira. I asked the artist
There's a pattern here.
There is a pattern, yes. to do Madeira. Of course, like this one is like slightly smaller than the real Madeira, but there is the shape and everything. And Madeira was really interesting because you are still in EU actually.
Yeah.
But it feels like some
Jurassic
tropical
Park,
island.
right?
And,
Yeah.
And especially when you go hiking, they have these like hiking trails next to the water, like aqueducts. It's a really interesting place, and I recommend visiting it, but also visiting it in VS2.
Yes, definitely. It's on my list for both places, actually, for in real life and in the game. And I think what's nice about this is that obviously inspired by, but also you said they've been adjusted during Creative Take. But what's kind of cool about it is that there's this thing about being nature is the best designer, right? So why not, make use of nature's design? So that's actually it's awesome to see this. And I think we have a few more here, guys. There's a list of them. We have the Skyvale Falls, inspired by Yosemite Falls, of course. The River Gate, inspired by Bratislava. Okay, there we go. Capital of Slovakia on the Danube River. The Abyssal Trench. Oh, wow, that sounds dramatic. Inspired by the Mariana Trench. So, and then the Harbour Cliffs, inspired by Hout Bay. So there's so many gems for you guys to find. And who's playing right now? Can we get like some? I see like percentages. If let me know what percentage you guys are at with the download, or if you're already playing the game. But that actually brings us to the end of the. We're going to get into like more details here, but I want to hand it back to Chenda here again. Chenda, if there's some really key technology and key improvements you want to bring attention to that the amazing team has delivered for this update.
Okay, one thing that we haven't touched on are material transitions, which like in SC1 were very short, like one triangle in distance, and now we made it like over a period of, let's say, 8 meters or even more. So that adds to believability. So the materials that, for example, are, I don't know, some lush green biome, transitions to desert over a, like, nice area where it kind of slowly goes through grass to some deserty biome and sand dunes then. So it looks much more believable. Also, I think sediments are a really nice thing here because we are now having the materials on the planet kind of curved to the curvature of the planet, so it's no longer just X and Y and Z, and that makes kind of sediments still being in the right direction. They are not vertical, they are horizontal as designers or artists puts them on. So these are really nice.
It's a big improvement, isn't it? To have the transition is huge because again, SE1 when Planet, this was a huge technology achievement. All those 10 years ago, it was 10 years ago pretty much that Planet's released for SE1. So of course technology, definitely has improved since then, and it was critically important that every element of Planets and Space Engineer 2 with that next level of quality, fidelity, everything. It's and one of those, I think, the transitions make a huge difference to how the planets look, honestly.
And one of the, really another type of improvement is when you look on the planet from outside. I'm not sure whether you have some shot there.
I have a shot at the beginning. I'm going to scroll many. I think, when we were about to, just so you guys know, when we were making this blog post, we're prepping this in a doc file. There's 75 pages. 75 pages of amazing photos, amazing content. So I'm actually going to have to speed this up. There. Yeah, big shout out to Vashek, Drewy, for the amazing. Can you imagine? It's like a writing a book. Short. Let me see. Here we go. We got a nice picture here of Verdure from the distance here. Gender.
Yeah. So essentially, that's where another feature is visible, and that's our planet overlays. So, in SE1, we were just rendering the voxel materials, which were kind of down to pixel, down to triangles, so lots of triangles. It was quite a mess, but here we kind of pre-render or bake whole planet, all the biomes into, let's say, cube map, which is applied on the planet. And as you get closer, we are slowly transitioning to actual materials. And even in some mid distances, we are still using some materials from the overlay, like normal maps, that adds really ton of detail in the on the mountains, in the distance, etc. So it's really great addition to make the planets believable. And of course, you can see the clouds from the outside. It's also pretty cool.
It's really nice. I mean, I think that another thing I was saying last night was just being able to see all the details from so far away. That it's you could Chenna, you'll know this of course, that obviously in SE1 if you turn on extreme voxels you can do it, but it's not something that is ideal for a lot of systems. We'll put it that way, right? So to have that kind of that beautiful look be also performance friendly as well, I think is a really, really important point.
Yes, definitely. And you can have multiple planets on the screen and still having them really nicely rendered without issues.
You have another image. As you got to the bottom here, because what we didn't obviously show yet is Chemic as well. Chemic is the second planet that you guys can explore, and this has obviously a very different terrain. And I realized when I was going through this that we didn't cover all the biomes of Chemic, but I still, just for now, again, Chenda, obviously there's so much that went into this, but if there's any real, the biggest things for you that you're really proud of to cover today, we'd love to hear more.
Well, one thing we haven't touched on yet, and that's Flora. But you won't find it on the Chemic too much.
I'll scroll up and find a nice image for this one.
Yeah.
Find a nice Flora. Oh, there we go. That's a nice Flora, the Iceland one.
What we made sure is essentially having a really dense forest. That was our focus, to make a tech that allows to make something believable forest where you can walk in and really get fully immersed into the between the trees, and that's allowed by the combination of two technologies. Essentially, one is just usual meshes that we use for rendering anything, but in distance we are rendering just billboards and then transitioning between various angles. So we pre-render each tree from many angles and then render it from that angle that the camera is seeing. So that's pretty cool. So you can see that even in the distance you can see hundreds or thousands of trees.
Yeah, on the cliff there, like on this picture here on the way, it's amazing. You can see that, kind of plateau covered in trees. It's something special, guys, when you take your first walk in a forest. And I'm just looking at the chat. I know you guys are talking a lot. I know we haven't had any time for questions yet. We'll get to it for sure. Just a quick check. I know some people are updating. There may be some, if there are any issues you guys are experiencing, just sit tight. I know the team is going to be hot on the hot fixes, so just stand tight there. But I also wanted to ask you guys, first impressions as you guys are getting into the game right now, and also how's it running as well? Because I know I was running it in 4K, Chenda, and the guys, of course, there's a lot more optimization to come. But you know, if you have a nice PC, you can really run this, you know, on high settings, and it's buttery smooth actually. So I know that's been a big part as well. Even in the early kind of development of SE2 was performance right from the get-go, right?
Or like optimizations where like it's always like almost half of the work to make it run well, without issues, without bugs, and run smooth. Although we are not done here.
Of course.
We know about things that we want to improve, and like although it's not like bad, it's quite okay, but I'm not happy. Like unless it will be like 60 FPS on even on Potato. So we are really looking into the performance, and 2.2 will be big upgrade in that regard.
Perfect. That's going to be, of course, key, and that's going to continue for a while is optimization. And I think coming back to the foundations of Space Engine 2 in general, the game is designed that it's like when we talk about scalability, the potential for optimization is huge, right? And it's like in many ways not even being tapped, you know, in certain areas. Let's see down here. Okay.
Well,
go ahead.
I think big thing for optimizations now are, of course, like FSR, which allows us to render into smaller image and then upscale it without even noticing that it's upscaled. So upscalers are really a big thing that helps us. But there are more ways to optimize where we kind of want to run without any upscaling in like, you know, full quality. That's our goal.
Sounds great. Sounds good. And honestly, Chenda, as always, I feel like we are gonna have to have like a dedicated Chenda stream. There's always so much stuff to kind of not obviously just cover, but then if I know that a lot of players are really interested in getting deeper, like learning more specifically.
Technical information.
I know Aaron's probably cooking up some videos and planning there as well, but I know that Chenda is like an encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to
we've already had one interview. We've had one interview, but we can have another.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can also release a little bit more information now that VS2 has been released as well.
Definitely. I'd say we are reading guys, even though we're not addressing them, I'm keeping an eye on the comments here, and it's really good to read all the comments that you guys are writing. I know we've all got them up on the screen.
It's going really well. We've got lots of people saying they're getting in and it's performing well. Someone's even claimed that their potato's running it. So, so that's very good. So
potato approved.
Great to hear that.
What I'll do is real quick, Chenda, I know we're a little bit around, but I'm going to quickly go over the chemic biome as well, because there's just to showcase the amazing visuals that the guys have produced here. So we have the orange wasteland biome on chemic. Here we go. It's all very desolate. Volcanic craters. Look at that one as well. And then there's also chemic natural wonders. Oh, the school formation. That's funny because I know we talked about it like months ago, and here it is in game.
So this actually happened when last year I visited Mars, and then after I came back, I asked the artist to put the school there.
Exactly, you know it. That. There's a pattern here, guys. If you know when you see Marek's travels, the next SE update, there's going to be a new location added. So. So that's going to be, people are going to be building bases in that, building bases in
a school base. That's like the perfect villain location, isn't it?
So yeah, we have the school formation. We've got the giant volcano here. Look at that sticking out.
I think Chemic's like real estate for villains, really, isn't it? Just if you're a bad guy, go to Chemic and live on there.
It's going to be a lot. It's a lot more of a brutal life there, right?
Yeah,
it's
karma
stunning
for being a villain, I guess, isn't it? If you're living on there.
And then another interesting point, we have the impact site. So another big crater here on the planet. Look at that. Planetary mountain range. So much variety. And then we kind of get on to the actual planetary features. Again, Chenda, I'm not sure here if there's... We can talk... Yeah, one of the things I think we have on here is voxel hardness. So the kind of dynamic voxel hardness. I think that's something really cool that it'd be cool to kind of for you to talk about here.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool feature, especially for players. But I want to touch up a little bit on chemical.
Sure, yeah, I'm rushing you ahead there.
Very quickly, one really cool thing that we did that I don't want to miss is the part of the flora where we were implementing the trees, etc., bushes. We implemented also rocks, and you can go with your like gun or with drill and drill them into the fracture. So it works very similarly to destroying the blocks. If you destroy a block, it will fracture to pieces. So all the rocks that are on these images are destructible, and they will just fall into like small fractures. So it's pretty neat, just running around and destroying stuff on the planets.
It's always fun.
And that, yeah, and that leads me to dynamic hardness, which is a bit related because that's also destruction, but destruction on planet terrain. We already had, of course, destruction in DS1, like you could just crash into the voxel, it would just carve part of the voxel that you've hit, and like as expected, same as SU1. But what we've added now is different hardness of the surfaces. So like if you are landing, it's better to land on the sandy area where even if you bump into it a little bit more than you would like to, it will not destroy your ship because it's not hard, it's soft, and it will create bigger hole but doesn't destroy the ship. So it kind of works in sync. Essentially, when the material is soft, it will be destroyed more and the ship less. And if the material is hard, then of course the ship gets much more damage, and the rocky material, for example, doesn't get any destruction. So yeah, beware where you are landing, guys.
No, it is huge, and I found that out even when I was playing this week. Is that like you hit into a mountain, it's just like completely evaporation. So
if there's any way we can turn Chando up for me, because I can hear him so faintly, he's whispering. I'm listening to the Space Engineers 2 soundtrack.
Do you hear him okay, Marek? Do you hear Chando okay? Mm-hmm. That's very unusual, Aaron.
I've just been listening to the music now for the last.
So you hear the music really loudly.
Yeah, and then Chando's really quiet.
That makes
the wire's not loose below you or anything, is it?
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
How is it for others on the stream?
Everyone else is absolutely fine. It's just me. I have you on very quiet mode.
I don't know what it is. Maybe there's something on the cable is. I'm not actually sure.
We'll just have to continue.
I have to debug that
I can't give too many questions because I can't hear. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Aaron.
No worries.
I have no idea why it's doing that. Nothing changed from last week. So strange. Okay. Yes. So we are, as you guys can see, there's a lot here. So we are going to bring on Sam shortly here, but I do want to see if there's some other things that we've covered. We were talking a little bit about the destructible rocks, but I think also that's trees as well, right, Chenda? So destructible trees as well. Look at that planet as well. Image.
Trees definitely, trees definitely fracture into pieces. Like artists did a great job there, so you can just smash them with the ship or just hit them with the whatever tool you have, and they will fall apart, which is also fun.
No, I saw some good videos from creators as well, shooting trees and all the rest of it.
I love how the trees break and fall apart. It's spectacular, isn't it? And they're so detailed. Now, Marek, you also said when you went out to these places, you saw some of the trees and you were taking pictures of these particular plants that you wanted them to, integrate into the game.
Yes. So before we started to work on the library of the trees and the vegetation, the flora, on Verger. We created some concept art and some list, and then when the artists were working on it, and again, when I was traveling somewhere and I found some beautiful bush or tree or some flower or something, I send it to them and ask them to include it in the proper biome, obviously. So there is also a lot of flora coming from this visit, and yeah, some of the flora looks like the, let's say, like the normal European type of climate, but some of them, especially from Africa, looks like alien.
Amazing. I'm also, so keeping an eye here. Yeah, there's definitely. So if you guys are you kind of following a little bit, Aaron? I think there may be some players who are running into a few issues getting the game loaded up.
Yep,
so
they are.
I think I would definitely sit tight. I mean, the guys are going to be getting.
The team are working on it, guys. But one thing I do recommend you have a go at is just do a little bit of a restart. A lot of people are doing a restart and it's working for them. So if you haven't restarted, try a restart. But our team are working on it, and if we get to it, we'll let you know how to solve it.
Perfect. And I still really I think that really comes back again to feedback in general, just on the features, on the mechanics. It's going to be crucial. The team is going to be focused so much on what you guys are doing and how your first steps in this new update are going to be going. So I actually see now as well, Chenda, we've got, I think, a few more points that I would love you to cover on the kind of the tech and the planetary side. And then on the gameplay side, we're going to get Sam on shortly here. But we're now looking at caves again. So I think we kind of covered that mainly. But there's, again, just talking, we have 5 different cave types, right?
I'm not sure how many cave types. It's essentially down to artists or even modders to add as many as they wish. But what's interesting from my point of view, it's procedurally generated, so you can kind of create some cave type and then just assign it to some biome and have it put there some procedural density, and it will get spawned wherever it sees fit that the cave can be spawned. So that's pretty
very
neat
cool
to populate planet with caves and overhangs automatically.
No, that's a huge deal, and I know players. I mean, I'm still to find some of the coolest caves, so I'm definitely looking forward to adventuring and firing some of these types.
I found quite a few of them, and they are just amazing. The Staglite one is great, but there's also some caves that are hidden in the side of the mountains. There's some that are like just semi-cut into the ground, so it creates a little trench. It's beautiful, especially the overhangs combined with the caves as well.
We've got the next point I have here is overhangs and terrain arches, and there's this stunning picture here. Yep. Look at that. You'll see this on the screen in a minute here, Chenda. But this was, we touched on some of this stuff already, but it makes Planet so much more like, how to word it, like, I don't say not believable, but you know what I mean, right? It has these features that our world has. So it really helps you when you're out there.
Yeah, every location should be a beautiful place.
Yeah, I think that was the thing, wasn't it? We had that for SE2 in general, that basically you should be able to take a photo anywhere, screenshot anywhere, and the game looks good. No matter what you're looking at, where you are, it just looks pretty. Like maybe it's not the most interesting ship or scene, but the lighting means that it still looks incredible and it's worthy of posting. That's a great picture, by the way.
And I have one nerdy info again, and that's essentially whenever you start new game, it will use another random seed, like different random seeds. So for each player, the planet looks differently. The caves are spawned at different places, overhangs are different, or trees are spawned differently. Of course, according to some rules created by artists, but it's nevertheless each playthrough is kind of unique, and that is also down to contracts and encounters that we will definitely talk later about. They are different for each player.
It's pretty huge, honestly. Like the habit that every time you play, like you might count on a cave or something being a certain place, and then the next time you're going to find it somewhere else, which might be a better thing. Like maybe it's in like an even more beautiful spot. I mean, that's very cool when it comes to replayability as well. That your experience might be a little bit different based on what you come across, what's nearby, and so on. So that's very cool. As we move down here, we've covered volumetric clouds a bit. That's such a good photo there. That is honestly amazing. The way the sun is shining through the clouds here. So again, they cast shadows, they respect biome patterns, and the react time of day. I mean, this is really another one of the key things that I think that has allowed planets to look as beautiful as they do. So yeah, unless there's anything you wanted to add again on clouds, Chendo. I know we talked about it a little bit already, but yeah, amazing.
I think here it nicely comes together. All the systems are really doing great jobs. Amazing.
And I believe this is the final point I'm going to ask you, Chendo, to cover here. And this is voxel decals as well here. This is the last point before we jump into the gameplay side of things. So yeah, tell us a little bit about voxel decals.
I don't know anything about voxel decals. I think he did.
I asked Chendo, but I should probably better one of the others.
No, I
maybe
think,
you can cover it, Marek.
I think Chendo, they just call it differently. You know,
okay.
so it's probably different name for artists and different for program. So Chendo, this is the terrain detail map or terrain detail height map.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we kind of covered it. The detail of the terrain is much higher than SE1. Like, we have a base terrain which is like 16 times more like precise or dense, and on top of it, which to have it really down to 1 meter detail, we have, let's say, detail maps that are repeating patterns that are put on top of it for each biome separately, or each like planet material separately. So that kind of creates really interesting terrain everywhere, not blobby, not just, some height map like sinus shape. So that's essentially.
And again, all of these things that we've covered, we've covered a lot of the tech here, but all of this goes in together to make this update, make these planets look as beautiful as they do. So I say, Chendo, I want to thank you for joining us today. I say you guys, your team has done incredible work. So I just asked now if there's any final thoughts or any things you wanted to kind of mention here today.
Well, I guess you will cover much more in the next section. Like, we did lots of work on the gameplay, of course. Gameplay programmers did amazing job there. There are like interesting physics features like connectors or doors or even ragdoll, like when you die with your character. Save zones are in the, and etc. Like I believe you will cover it all. I'm proud of all the features that we've added. I think it's really in good shape, and I'm proud of the team that did all of it. I think we have a really amazing team, and it's really great job. I'm happy to have it out now, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what we will do in the next update.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much, Chendo, for joining us, and we'll definitely catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chendo.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
See you soon, man. Thank you. Okay.
Hopefully Sam comes in a little bit louder so I can.
I think I might have a little play around with the audio mix
you have
to
a
see
good
if there's
play.
something loose. It's very
Otherwise, I'm
unusual.
just enjoying the music for space.
So let me just quickly, we're going to get Sam on here. Let me see. Sam, do we hear you?
Hello.
Hey, what up, man? I'm just going to get you in as well. Switch over from Chendo. Well, Sam, in the meantime here, it is an honor to have you with us as well. And I wanted to I guess ask initially, what are your first feelings to have this update launched? Play a big part in this.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've got to see those beautiful landscapes every single day for the last God knows how many months. I've played the survival campaign, I don't know, 500 times, and you always see something new. You always see a new sunrise. And for me, just sharing that kind of experience with the rest of the community is amazing.
No, it's... sorry, go ahead.
And obviously all the other extra stuff that we've added as well. But for me, that was just the breathtaking thing that I see every single day when I look at the game.
I know. I always like look forward to like loading it up and just it's very relaxing. Just exploring and just playing survival, walking around the planet. It's such a good feeling. It's a little bit of nostalgia as well in terms of like this, because it's familiar, but it also feels a very new experience at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. It has the vibes, but with a fresh take on the universe, as it were.
And I say what we'll do is here, we kind of covered a lot of we're a little bit over time, as you guys can imagine. There's so much. We're going to try and get through this and keep it as compact as possible. So next up, Sam, we're going to start off by, we're going to get to the colonization, the story, but first off, we're going to talk a little bit about the natural resources and components. So again, we'd love to hear a little bit about what came into the kind of designing this part and deciding where, how this would work in the game, and the final resource list and so on.
Yes, so we wanted to expand somewhat on Space Engineers 1 list of materials, but we didn't want to overdo it. We didn't want to give you 800 different components, 800 different raw materials, but make them unique enough that they were interesting to go and find. So making a component might need 2 rare materials and 1 common material, but you're going to have to travel through the entire environment to find these things. You're not going to find everything on Verdure, not going to find everything on Chemic. And one big thing that we've really wanted to push is moving people through the world when it came to gathering resources. So you can't just sit in one place and make your little mining outpost and have everything there. You have to move through the universe. And things like titanium, magnesium, chromium, they're all kind of very industrially soundy as well. And we can very much match the kind of component list that we're working on, things like turbine blades and motherboards. We could get some kind of hint of realism to match these materials with the things that they're making.
And I know players are definitely excited about seeing new materials like that in the game. So actually, we're going to kind of go through this entire process in terms of from raw materials, and we're going to talk about the new blocks, and we're also going to talk about the components here. So we have everything in the plan, but I'm going to a little bit stick here to the blog post as well, just so it's easier on the scrolling here. So obviously we have the new blocks we have a lot of new blocks. So starting off with the survival kit, which obviously players are familiar with from SE1. So I'm not sure if there's, again, you want to cover some of the differences there.
The survival kit is actually almost significantly different in many ways to Space Engineers 1. We no longer use it to produce components. It is used for regenerating your health, your hydrogen, and your gases. And one big change we've done is the way that you respawn at these kind of blocks. So instead of the old kind of teleportation system in Space Engineers 1, where you could essentially move through your entire world by using survival kits, we have limited it to 2 possible spawn points. One is your home base spawn point, and you have to register your survival kit as the home base. And then there's the next nearest kind of accessible survival kit that you kind of either own or have access to. So we really got rid of the whole death traveling thing that was in Space Engineers 1 and made it a little bit more of an interactive process and make it a bit more meaningful when you die within the game.
And that is a massive change, and it's going to be really interesting to see how players get on with that change to that respawn system. Yeah. I know, honestly, Sam, for each of these there's probably always more to add, so we're going to try and balance it just how much we're going to try and cram the info here a little bit. So next up we have the smelter and the fabricator. So take it away, Sam.
So the smelter and the fabricator are the 2 opposite ends of the production system. The smelter is your basic materials such as steel plates, construction components, and your fabricator is the other end, full of things like for jump drives and the biggest thrusters. And what we wanted to do was making it more meaningful. So being able to move your production system from the very early start all the way up to to kind of mega components. It's very familiar in many ways in Space Engineers 1 of how production works for the time being. And we also obviously have backpack building as well, which serves a complementary purpose to the production system.
And that's actually something that we haven't fully talked about yet. And I think we'll get to it, is backpack building. And that's something that is very satisfying. It's a massive change to the kind of initial survival experience. And I know for Marek, this was something that I think it came pretty early on that this is something that you wanted to have, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know it was controversial, even inside our team, because some people thought that actually making it more complicated, like less accessible, that should be the way. And but for me, and actually this has been true maybe for 10 years, I felt that we need to make it more intuitive and basically less mental steps to get to a welded block. And because many times when you want to weld something, you need to remember what ore you need, what ingots, what components, and it's just so complicated. And when I was playing the game, many times what happened to me was that I wanted to build something, and on my way to some cave, or not cave, but to some tunnel to dig the ore, I actually forgot what I should mine, right? And then what ingots and what components. And I thought, like, where is the fun? It's like in remembering these shopping lists, or is it in actually mining and welding, the physical part? So then in SC2 we decided to go this direction, so that's backpack building. And I'm really positively surprised and happy that many people who had access to the preview of VS2 were happy with this direction.
No, for sure. And it doesn't take away from building up your production and later on and the efficiency and mass production. But for those early steps, it's quite satisfying, and you can show this in a little bit here, that you can switch between like raw mode and then component mode, which is I think it's going to be interesting to see the feedback now that players have their hands on it. But definitely, I enjoyed it when I was first diving into this.
Yeah, it allows you to get moving through the world quicker as well. If you look at Space Engineers 1, your first steps are mining, putting it into the survival kit, waiting. And a big thing with the backpack building is we wanted to get rid of that waiting. So you spent more time actually playing the game that we've crafted for you instead of just sitting around waiting for something to happen. And another really good use case is that day that you melt your grid into the side of a mountain and you sat there not knowing what to do. In Space Engineers 1, you would just have to respawn. And then to go back to your base, fly over there. Now what we're allowing you to do is, at the very least, get a basic grid that you can either pick up the remnants of your grid that you've just smashed and fly it home, or you can fly all the way home, pick up your salvaging grid, and then go back without having just to hit respawn and being taken out of that immersion. So it's getting you going quicker. It's stopping the waiting around. It's not replacing production systems, because you still need to be able to use those production systems and components to build those bigger blocks in the later game. But it just means that there's less friction at the start of the game.
Yeah, and I think kind of as we're talking about, as you move on here, we're kind of going the smell of the fabricator. We also have here, I think we covered the fabricator, but next up we have the gear forge. I will also say these blocks look absolutely stunning, as everything in SE2 does. But yeah, if you wanted to cover the gear forge, I believe now, Sam, we haven't talked quite about that yet. So we're looking at, go ahead.
So the gear forge is our block dedicated to character tools and consumables. So you go there to craft your new welders, your new grinders, drills, weapons. And the difference with tools within Space Engineers 2 is that if you die and you have a Mark 2, 3, 4 tool on you, that stays in your inventory. You don't lose that. So there's not this constant kind of reprocessing to get these tools again if you've happened to smash into a mountain.
Yeah.
And then moving on to consumables, we've changed how tanks work in like hydrogen tanks work as the character. So instead of it being a tank that then fills up your entire inventory with 500 tanks, you now have a consumable slot, and you can produce consumables such as a hydrogen, a refill, a suit battery, or a med kit, and they go in a specific slot within your character. You can only have 5, so you can't hydroman it for, say, 3,000 kilometers just on your own. And it really kind of tidies up that whole process of recharging your stats while on the go.
Yeah, and it's really important. And I think we're talking of I'm just having a look here. Talking of slots as well, we're going to talk about batteries now, which is something super satisfying. But there's one thing I just want to. I know we haven't addressed the chat, guys. We're going to try and get to some questions a little bit here. Just one thing, Aaron. I noticed the question around key bindings came up again. I'm not sure if you wanted to touch on this one because I know it matters to a lot of people.
I understand that, and we're working on it. Key binding is something that we're going to be having in the future. We're sorry it's not quite there yet, but we want to make sure it's done right. Because we've heard your feedback and we can hear you screaming from the hills that we need key bindings, and we understand that for whatever control setup you want. So it's something we're working a little bit further down the road, aren't we, Marek?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that one because I know it's still quite a big one in terms of people's part of that, like accessibility, actually. So that's why I definitely want to touch on that one comment I saw there. But we'll get to more comments in a bit. Next up we got batteries, which obviously are very cool, and we have thrusters. So if you want to go over the new battery system as well.
Batteries, I think, are one of my favorite, like top 5 favorite tech we have for VS2. It's such a cool system. The battery block itself is essentially a storage rack, and what you do is you put power modules into the battery, which allows you to quickly swap out power modules to get up and go. Once again, getting rid of that waiting component of just sitting there watching your battery slowly charge. You can now build an entire grid dedicating to being a battery charging station, and then hot swap all your power modules, which is just such a cool feature in my mind. It's one of my favorite. I can see so many possibilities in the future with this kind of tech. And on thrusters, we have your current standard at the moment of atmospheric hydrogen and ion thrusters. They work very similar to the way they work in Space Engineers 1. What we have added recently is a notification as you get a certain height on the planet to kind of warn you to make sure that you put on space-capable thrusters. And actually in reverse as well, if you're coming into the atmosphere, we warn you to have planet-based thrusters as well.
And those effects are so beautiful there. Those new thruster flame. Look at that, stunning.
The copper pipe as well on the side of that that just looks lovely.
All of it is like it's like a kind of standard statement that all of these blocks are made with such great love and attention by the art team. That's amazing here. Then to go with your hydrogen thruster, you have your hydrogen tanks as well. There's a big red button as well. There's big buttons on it, so you can refuel at those.
Yeah, you can refuel directly at the hydrogen tanks in Space Engineers 2. So you can have these on the external of your grid, refuel your hydrogen without having to go find a survival kit, without having to go find a med bay. So really kind of allowing that versatility of how you want to build your grid.
Very nice. And yeah, let me see, have a look here. So we've got next up, Sam, we've got the drill and the contract block, which I think we'll probably get to the actual contract conversation a little bit later here, but very nice drill. And this is let me see. Yeah, and if you want to add anything particularly about the design of drilling or the contract block, feel free.
The contract block, I think we'll save for the actual contract stuff because there's obviously a wider discussion with that one. The drill is meant to look very industrial. It's meant to look like it's heavy duty. It's going to, really kind of chunk out that ore. Obviously, we have made some changes to how drilling works. You no longer get stone when you drill. That's going to be controversial, I know.
No, I was laughing. I heard it is like you no longer get stoned, is what I heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but I know this is a big thing. Like the kind of stone mining conversation. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I think that's, again, there's reasons behind it, right, Sam? But hearing the community's thoughts and continued feedback on that is going to be interesting.
Yeah, so very quickly on that, it's to, once again, promote exploration around playing. You didn't have to. You could lay in a valley in the middle of nowhere in Space Engineers 1 and just mine down, get all the stone out, and you have all these kind of iron patches, nickel patches that were completely left untouched. We really want to promote exploration in our game. We want you to go visit all these beautiful places the artists have made. we want you to go visit this area over here. And there's some other stuff that we're kind of planning for the future that I won't talk about now, but that will also kind of feed into why we're getting rid of stone and why we're pushing you to explore, basically. And yeah, it's the ores are pretty well distributed on Vidura, especially. There's a lot of opportunities to find those base ores. So it's not like we've made them really scarce that you can't find them, but you're not going to be able to just dig down on the ground and get all the materials up. And obviously we no longer have floating objects fall on the floor if you don't have any, or in your we don't have floating objects drop on the floor if your inventory is not full. If the inventory is full, those floating objects still drop on the ground, but the ore just goes directly into your backpack when you're drilling with your hand drill.
Some more changes there. So yeah, we'll come back to the contract conversation, I think, a little bit here. And say, guys, thank you for sticking with us, because there is still so much content in this update. Trying to get through this in like a reasonable time, but also we don't want to miss anything because there's so many good points to cover here. So I guess in the last on this block here, we have the barrel block as well, a large standalone storage container without a conveyor access.
Yeah,
nice.
Just a standalone cargo container.
Looks great
though. Beautiful, functional. It's fine.
And of course, there's blocks that were already in Space Engineers 2 that now have functionality. So the list, we have the reactor, hydrogen generator, medical bay, ore detector, solar panels, connector, conveyor system, the large and the small H2 generator, O2 H2 generator, the antenna, crates, lockers, car containers, and also animations. We love the animations on blocks, so they were also added. And one of the other cool things about connectors, I think this might be on here, is the auto dock feature. Have a play of it, guys. So when you get two connectors, like if you're in the kind of initial experience, and you can be quite off-centered, as long as they light up blue and you press P, it'll automatically dock for you. And it's a very, very satisfying feeling. And once you get used to it, it's like, yes, this is it. So that was a cool one.
Yeah. I was actually thinking that maybe we need something like that also for landing. So, you know, like holding some button,
and it
just lands and slowly lands and sticks. Maybe we're also considering to increase the range for these, the connector
auto docking
detection to just like a little bit larger range.
And of course, you can still do it manually. There's nothing stopping you doing manually, but sometimes it's really hard when you're like trying to figure out, like, are you too far forward? It can be quite confusing. So this definitely makes it easier. And it's very satisfying, actually, when it just kind of pulls you into place. So next up, we are looking at the hand tools, Sam, and we obviously have the tiers of returned, and we have welders, grinders, and drills, all tier 1 to 4 here. So I'm not sure if you want to just... I think obviously people are familiar with the different tools, but if you want to cover the kind of tiering system again and the thinking there.
So the tiering system is allowing obviously these hand drills to become more effective as you play on. So, and in this instance, it's mostly to do with speed. A tier 1 drill will drill at X seconds, and a tier 4 drill will be 4 times as fast potentially. Yeah. So it's not changed too much with SE1 at the moment. That could change in the future, obviously, but for now it's simple speed modifier on the newer, the bigger tools.
Important though, always got to have those tier 4 tools. Got to get to them. So next up, another big topic, we have survival system foundation. So this is, again, we've covered kind of the resource, we've covered the blocks, but now we're getting into the actual gameplay. And as this kind of point in bold says, this is where SE2 starts to feel like a real game, not just creator mode with physics. This is obviously a huge one. And we have a nice image there with we can look at the new projection graphics as well. So we can kind of get into this a little bit. Trying to keep the speed here, trying to keep the speed for everyone's everyone's sake to keep this nice and compact. So this is the next one. We have projection, building, and blueprints. And say, Sam, if you want to cover this, but this is obviously players are familiar with projectors, but this is next level, right?
Yeah, this is a very big change for Space Engineers 1. And I just want once again another one of my favorites. We have taken away that initial scaffolding when you, as soon as you place down a block, it's scaffolding and you need a metal plate in your backpack, for example. What we've done is we've brought creative mode into survival mode, and you can plan out your entire grid in hologram form without it costing you any resource at all. So you can copy a blueprint from the workshop, paste that into survival, and it will be there in full, ready to be built.
Yeah.
We've added, we've also considered what happens in gravity. So what happens now is that we have an auto strut system, which if you build in midair, the game will try and automatically add some connecting struts from the floor.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about the whole landing gear situation. And it, once again, gets you building in the game quicker without having to plan everything out in the scaffolding. And you look back after the last 4 hours of building and go, well, what have I just created? You can see it. You can see the front, sides, back. Everything's there. And
this is just, again, when we talk about both accessibility, but also like the intuition, like how intuitive this building is. And I really think with some of these changes, especially if you're used to SE1, like there may be people like, I'm not sure, is that going to be better and so on. But this is where we encourage players to actually jump in and try it. Give this a try, because I think we have seen personally people who may have been skeptical about certain, decisions or gameplay styles, but then come around once they've actually got into it and used it.
It's always the case, isn't it? Something new is quite scary. Because when you've got something that's very comforting, you've been playing for years and years, it's tempting to say, I just want the same thing over and over again.
Change is scary.
Like Marek will probably back me up here, is we're pioneering, we're trying new things.
Yep. And I saying this to the team frequently, that with SE2 actually we are like risking quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because SE1 is a proven recipe. Like we know that people like it. With SE2, we are trying to step a little bit further, but at the same time do something that our community will like. Hopefully also new players, but also our existing community. But it's a risk. So basically, like if I was using startup terminology, I would say that we have product market fit for SE1, but we don't have product market fit for SE2. And we will see it basically tonight, if there is fit or not. But it's a risk. It's a calculated risk. I would say that, we have, I was thinking about these features that we are now releasing for last, not 5 years, maybe even 10 years. Because even the backpack building actually, that idea is super, super old.
That's actually what's up next, Marek. So we can get into this, I think.
And projection building is another like super old idea that I had in my head, and finally I can do it in SE2. So it's not new, but
it looks so nice as well.
Quickly, there's a ton of features of projection building.
Okay.
We can quickly jump on. So first things, when you're on a planet and you have your projection in the midair, we now have a nice little strut that drops down. So when you're welding, it doesn't fall out of the air. And on top of that, as you're welding up these different blocks, it'll show you which blocks you can and can't weld. So unsupport, like you can't build your sort of grid out of order and have blocks floating. But it's an incredible system. Just have a play with it and see what you can build.
Definitely. It's very, very cool. And as Marek touched on, and we've touched on a few times tonight, backpack building and manufacturing. So this allows your backpack basically automatically processes raw ore into simple components so you can build some blocks straight from ore. So this is a little diagram here. And again, Marek, Aaron, Sam, whoever wants to kind of just add to the thinking, the designer behind this. But we've already touched on it a little bit, so we don't have to go too much deeper. But definitely it's a big change here, I think.
Yeah. Marek, you go.
Yeah, feel free, Sam.
I was just gonna say that it really is about, as I reiterate, it's about not having you sit and wait for something to happen in the early game without taking the complexity of the later game away by still having the production system on top of it. That's all I was going to say. Just reiterating that getting you going and playing the game instead of waiting is really important to us.
And this diagram is very nice. You have your raw materials, the backpack, simple components just go straight to the block. You have the smelter, which goes into simple components, and then the assembler, which goes into complex components. and then to the fabricator for high-tech components, and then below that, obviously, the refinery, which refines the raw materials into refinery. So you see that you kind of see the flow here. So that once again, you can definitely have your large factories, automated systems. This is just giving a different way, which really helps the early game, I think.
There's another way to look at this as well, is when we expand on blocks in the future, such as ship welders and other things like that as well, that this system will come more apparent there, rather than just whipping out your drilling the resources and then welding things up. So you'll have to think about that. I don't know, can we even touch on that, Sam? With any weld, I know the players would love it. Like
I would love to talk about it. I was biting my tongue a second ago. When
yes,
you were
right.
saying
We'll be quiet. We'll be quiet. But
for now,
well, there is plans in there. So as things do evolve, as ship tools, whatever happens, this system will become more apparent in how it works.
Yeah, and we also, again, the Gearforge, Sam touched on it when we were looking at the Gearforge, the block earlier, but again, this is explaining just how that works. And another massive change, I think, here. Again, Sam, I don't know if you want to add anything to the Gearforge, because you did kind of explain already how it works and why people want to use it, and we have the diagram here, but feel free if there's something else to add.
One thing I was going to mention is the fact that your Mark 1 welder or Mark 1 tool is an ingredient for your Mark 2 tool.
Yeah.
So you don't have to carry around like 500 different variants of whatever you have.
But it's like upgrading, right?
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's upgrading the tool, which feels really nice when I've been playing it. Right, I don't have to look at my inventory and go, "Oh, why have I got 4 different welders in my inventory?" And just have my Mark II welder that I've just upgraded, and doesn't matter if I've crashed into a mountain, I still have it there.
I think that's another really nice change. And I'm just going to quickly address the chat. And again, guys, we are paying attention. And even if we're not addressing it, I know our team is monitoring this. It's great to see some people already in the game, having a good time. It's running well. I see some other players are having difficulties getting into the game right now. And like I say, the team is definitely 100% on that. They're going to be looking if there's crashes, why that's happening. And you can expect a hot fix. I'm not sure how soon the guys will have a hot fix.
We're looking into it now. We're following up, guys. The other thing as well is get them bugs reported or any issues you are having as well, so our team can see what it is, because it could be a widespread issue. It could be a particular issue with your setup as well. So get them reported, and our team are working on it behind the scenes.
I think many people are actually running it on Linux or trying to run it on Linux.
Yeah.
And Linux is not, in the supported systems.
So something might have changed there.
So Linux is unsupported, but there is people making it work unofficially.
Yeah. So maybe there might have been some change that, like by accident kind of a change. So I'm not sure, but everything will definitely become clear, I think, in the coming hours here, guys, what's going on. I know the team is going to be keeping an eye on that. Officers saying we have 4,000 people playing SE2 right now, Marek.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That's very cool. Very, very cool, guys. So howdy to the 4,000 there. I also want to have a quick question just as we're going through this. How many of you guys actually own Space Engineers? And how many of you guys are still watching, waiting, deciding, not sure yet? So let's see, 07s in the chat. You know the routine, guys. 07s in the chat if you own Space Engineers 2. And 06s if you don't yet own Space Engineers 2, but you're thinking about it. It's on the wish list. Let's have a little look here how the kind of range of players we have in the chat today. And with that, I can see it's beautiful. There's a lot of 07s. A lot of 07s, yeah. A lot of salutes. Next up, Sam. There's a few 06s. There we go. We have the grid power system and swappable power cells. And once again, we did touch on this when we were looking at the battery, but if there's more points you want to add there, please feel free.
I think I mostly covered it. I mean, obviously, this is just the start for this kind of tech. It's the first block we tried it on. We may in the future look at this to do other stuff. But no, yeah, definitely check it out. There's some really cool things you can do with this. Just in terms of building your own, essentially, EV charging station. And it just means that you're not going to sit there waiting for that grid to charge. We've all been there. We've got down to 10% power. We've landed our grid, and now we're sat there looking at said grid and waiting for it to charge. But yeah, it's a game changer in that respect, and it really does allow you to also, if this grid's damaged, instead of having to try and grind that battery down, which will obviously lose its power, or just force discharge it back into the system, take your power cells out, either pop them in your inventory or pop them into a not full grid.
Yeah.
And it's also hot swappable. So you take out the battery that you're looking at, and then when you put it back in, it's on, say, discharge or auto, it will put the highest charged one in. If the battery is on charge, we put the lowest charged battery in. So we kind of help with that without having to decide which one to put in.
Now, I don't know if Sam covered that because he's very quiet for me. But another little tip that we did talk about is in the introduction sort of area, we've got these little power modules on the side, so you can quickly pull one out of your ship and plug it into one of these modules to recharge. So it's going to give you a bit of an idea of something you could do for your own bases, having these power modules quickly accessible, recharge, replace, get some others charging back up before you fly out, because we're all going to do it. We're all going to run out of power.
It's very satisfying as well. It's very satisfying switching those stuff out.
It's almost all diegetic as well. There's no kind of UI with it. To get a battery in and out, you have to interact with the battery module. Yeah. You can't just pop into an inventory to grab it.
And just on this note, I see another comment here. I think, was it AJ Wolfie, I think, said that Linux is running great. So I think it's not a widespread, it's not like a complete Linux thing. So definitely we're going to keep an eye on these comments, guys.
I will explain, like I've seen people, even some people saying running on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So it's not officially supported, means that we didn't test it on Linux or Steam Deck, and we didn't do like any extra work. So for some people it works, because they're lucky or they like the right configuration.
Sure.
For some other people it doesn't work, and that's it. So if you will want to support Linux or Steam Deck in the future, we will have to actually dedicate some time to look on it and and see why it works for some and why it doesn't work for some other.
We hear the passion though. There's a lot of Linux passion in the chat.
And remember, guys, as well, if you're having sort of the issues and you're not using one of these unsupported systems, try the classic things. Delete your game folder. Restart the game. Just work through it and have a look if anything's there. But if there is an issue, then get onto our support portal and report it, and we can have a look at it and see if we can sort it out.
There was another random off-topic question that said 90% of keen people have beards. Everyone on stream today does have a beard. That's funny, actually. So next up, Sam, we're getting on to colonization. Setting base systems for colonization, star systems and sectors. So this is it. This update, again, laying the foundation for colonization. So let's jump right on in.
I mean, I can only say this is just the beginning. We have big plans for colonization. It's something that we kind of thought, oh, this would be really cool. We spoke to Marek about. Marek had some ideas, and then it's just grew and grew into this really kind of centerpiece of what we're trying to do with our survival experience. Obviously, at the moment, we still only have the foundations of what they are, and they are just a taste of what to come. But I've played the survival scenario literally 500 plus times, and so I've played the contracts a similar number. And you still find different ways, especially as you play the game more, to complete these contracts. The first time I went through all them all, I just used my hand drill. Maybe the next time I built a drill ship to start doing it. I remembered to take my ore detector with me. I remembered to steal the lead from one to then upgrade my tool within the contract's assembler block, so I didn't have to use my power or anything. So just the kind of variation that you can do with these is fun already. The contracts tie in, as we spoke about, to the colonization, which is the core meta loop of Space Engineers 2. So the idea is, without spoiling anything, is moving through the Almagest system and completing these contracts as you go and getting blocks unlocked, because our progression is currently tied to the contract system. So as you complete a contract, you get colonization progression, which then gives you a block tied to that part of the progression. So it really is as I said, the centerpiece of what we're doing. And Marek, I don't know if you want to say more, because I know you're also very passionate about this part of the game.
Yep. So this is just the first step of the colonization system, and we are already designing the next and improved step, where you will have the colonization track, story track, and then player progression track. And this will be 3 independent tracks. They will be interlocked in a way that, for example, in order to to progress the story, you actually have to colonize, and in order to colonize, you have to like do a little bit of the story in the story scenario. In the pure sandbox, like you don't need to do the story at all, and it will also work in multiplayer. And there are many other things. So the colonization system is like the main meta loop of the game, and should be driving you, because Space Engineers 2, and we haven't been talking about this actually, is really about colonizing Almagest. Like that's why you are playing the game. That's the purpose.
As I saw a comment about this does also mean there's going to be like speed running suddenly for Space Engineers, like speed running the colonization of Almagest. So there's like that's going to be something interesting to see, and people will have how many hours it takes to complete it all without any hacks or anything, right? It's gonna be
or even
cool.
how quickly you could even take over that first sector. That could be the first mini challenge for you. How much can you take over that first sector? Like how quick can you do them contracts, work your way through, get them blocks, and then progress.
As I said, like once again, like every release stream we ever do, I have a list of things I'd love to talk about.
I know.
We are planning and what we're doing here. I know we in the design team are very excited to kind of expand on this system.
Yeah. Like I say, Sam, I say there's probably another thing to either have more video content, with yourself, but also streams, because there's so much we can dig deep in here, and I know a lot of the players are interested in. Right now, we're on track to probably be 1 hour over our schedule, so we will keep it going here. We're going to try and get through this. We're committed now. Yeah. In simple terms, you now have goals, progression, and a reason to keep expanding, guys. So this is very, very exciting indeed. And I also see lots of questions, guys. We're going to try and still have a little Q&A session at the end of this stream, because I know there are questions, plenty of them. And I'm sure probably Aaron and the guys are probably seeing some of the frequent questions coming up.
Yeah, of course. So, but try and save them for the end when we have the Q&A session.
Because it does answer some of these questions, as always.
Yes,
I think the blog post does actually answer a lot of the questions before we, so that always helps.
And some of your questions will be answered through playing. That's just
true.
As fun.
That is true. Just dive on in, right? So next topic we have this is very exciting. The storyline introduction and the base contract system. So the journey of Space Engineers 2 storyline begins here. So you play as Miro, right? And I'll let you take it away, Sam.
Okay, so base storyline introduction. So this is really starting to set the scene of kind of why you, the character, is there. Obviously don't want to give away too much for those people who aren't playing it at the moment or haven't got around to play it. But the basis is that you are with your brother, and something has happened, and you've got to now deal with that situation. And we have put a lot of effort into trying to bring that story alive, at least for our foundation of it. And the contract stuff is gonna in the future tie into that even more. But at the time being, it's kind of going along with the story.
Yeah.
And as I said, I don't want to spoil it, because the story is quite interesting. It's got some early legs for our players to check it out, and it is an integral part of what this is going to be at the moment.
And a key point here, of course, is that the contracts that we have right now, they're very cool. They're handled via the contract block rather than NPCs. But you guys know NPCs are coming, and that is going to be... I can't even describe how excited I am for that. So that's going to be, again, a complete different shake-up for Space Engineers when those drop. So a little sneak peek there. So we're going to continue on. I know this, again, guys, we're going through this stuff at a relatively fast speed, and for each section there is more to discuss, but we are going to push forward here.
Yeah, there's so much. The contract blocks are also at the central hubs.
Formation Station.
Formation Station, Chemic Station. And they are the kind of meeting place that our engineers would go to get their contracts.
And this will, and you guys will come across this when you first play this new VS2, and random encounters making a return here. So tell us a little bit about random encounters and unknown signals in Space Engineers 2.
Yes, so we currently have static random encounters in both space and on planets. And once again, this is just the initial offering of these. We have big plans for these that I can't talk about because Marek will
The
Marek will
snipers
tell
are
you
trained.
later on. Yeah. But they are still something to go visit at the moment, right? And you will find them flying through Vajor. Currently none on Chemic, but on Vajor you'll find them as you kind of fly through Vajor. They'll pop up. Go check them out, and just have a look. They're just little things to check out at the moment, but in future, who knows? And in space we have them similarly as well. They're great places to get battery modules. That's my key tip for you. If you're out in
There you
space
go.
and they're running out of power, go
Borrow.
visit an encounter and borrow a
Yeah.
battery module. And check crates. There's another thing.
Yeah, it was funny actually. Yesterday I was playing Sam and I was like, I found this like golden crate underneath a staircase. I was like, this has got to have some good loot in it. It was empty.
I mean, that's
sometimes,
Miko's. That's Miko's thing that he's been doing recently. Is with the encounters. Our level designer, he's done a great job with the encounters, the Velation station, the Chemic station. So all those kind of prefab grids that you see in the world are, Miko's genius. And if you want to talk to anyone about that, he would be obviously the best person.
Legend is Mr. Miko.
Indeed.
So we have actually, if you can believe it, Sam, we have the last major section of today's update to cover. There's definitely a ton more we're going to cover as well, but one of the last major sections of VS2 is station points and fast travel, which again is kind of a change here for space engineers. So yeah, walk us through it. This is very cool, and it kind of ties into colonization as well, of course.
Yeah, definitely. So fast travel is a way that we want to, once again, move through the universe, move through the world without having a jump drive.
Yep.
A jump drive is something that we're still kind of talking about and thinking about, and it will be a end game block. It will be a very late game block. The fast travel points allow you and your grid, or just you, to move through these kind of key stations within the sectors and visit points of interest as well. And they're unlocked as part of the sector progression. So once you've kind of colonized one sector, a fast travel point unlocks, and then you can fast travel to the next sector. And because we are making our ores kind of spatially spread, so you're not going to find certain ores in Vajor, you will only find them in the Chemic sector. Being able to go backwards and forwards quickly between sectors without having to kind of death travel or have to be having a jump drive when they come in is a great way to do this. And they are all kind of done on the map screen. So once you've unlocked it and discovered that station, you can fast travel between A to B at the moment.
Yeah, and say players will definitely discover these as they move through the colonization progress. And now, Sam, that kind of brings us on to this, like, I say smaller things, but all of these took a lot of dedicated effort. So I'm just going to read over some, and if you want to bring attention...
Before you do that, can we talk about the FTUE? Because I don't think we've mentioned the FTUE yet.
We're actually going to play a little bit, hopefully, in a second here. We're going to just jump in.
I'll hold off then.
We'll play we're going to hopefully play, while we're doing the Q&A a little bit, we're going to kind of jump in and do the first, not the whole thing, but we'll play let's say 10 minutes or so, just to show, because the people are asking, where's the gameplay? And I do agree with you. So we'll try and do a little bit of that. But in general, on that, it's going to be very interesting for you guys to feedback on this first time user experience. It's like you only play it once, right? So it's that you always hold that kind of first playthrough close to you. But yeah, we'll get onto that in just a second here. So just again, covering some of the other parts of this update, I'm going to read over them. We've got block construction stages, consumables, jetpack H2 usage for boost, energy for non-boost movement, HUD additions and changes, new UI screens.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump on the HUD additions.
Please do.
So we have made some kind of changes to information feedback to players. So for an example, if you're now drilling or grinding, we tell you how many of X ore you're now getting into your bag and how many you have in your bag. So in the past, in Space Engineers 1, you would be drilling, have no idea how much you've now actually mined without going to your inventory. as you mine now, we tell you that you've now end this kind of drilling session. As you're drilling and until you stop, you've mined 400 iron. And then within your bag, it's cumulative of everything that you have that is like your iron in your bag. And we've done some slight overhaul of the HUD and moved some elements. Please feedback on these. These were not experimental changes, but these were like our first iteration on them. We know there is some work to be done on them, but we do think there is a net benefit in some of the changes we've made. So please definitely give us your feedback on those. And
I say with the HUD additions and stuff, like I say, Mark, one of those, when you have like the objective complete, a lot of these like notifications and contextual tips, it's such a big difference. Both in terms of for new players, like helping to kind of guide them, but also for any player, the satisfaction when you kind of complete an objective. And I say even the ore, the way it stacks on the screen, there's some of these changes that are so, they might like seem like a smaller thing, but they add so much, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's go through. So yeah, we've got other things here on kind of cornerstones, we're calling it. We have, let's see, yeah, we have the new screens, then G-screen improvements, ore detection. That's another, obviously a big part there, both the drill and the ore detector blocks. And then additional improvements, optimizations, rendering improvements, destruction LODs, tons of new animations added. And you see, so there's some pretty nice ones, isn't there, in the cockpit as well, Aaron? We like some of the
ambient animations.
Is ambient? Was that the word?
Oh,
ambient. Yeah, it's ambient.
It's ambient animations? Idle animations, I guess.
Idle. Yeah, you could use both, I guess.
Ambient's kind of nicer, I think. We have inverse kinematics. That's another big one. New particle effects, new in-game and UI sounds, and the mod SDK tools are updated. And I know some people will be asking, what about planet modding? So, I mean, Sam, if you want to touch on any of all of these things are massive. So if you want to just touch on any of those things, including adding a little point about modding as well, that's probably important to note right now. Please feel free.
So the animation's one of my favorite is the running downhill animation where he's holding his backpack.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. And the mod SDK. So yes, there has been some updates. Our focus, we haven't done too much there. So, for example, you can have a look and do some changes with regards to planets and stuff, but there's no current way to quickly get it into the game. Our focus has been laser really on getting VS2 out there for people to play, try, feedback, and get their hands into survival. So for the time being, yes, you could probably make planets, but you can't place them into the game easily.
I think that's another key thing about Space Engineers in general. Like when it came to releasing Space Engineers 2 at Early Access when we did, and that is that same idea of getting it into the player's hands as soon as possible. Now, of course, there's always more that can be added. So this was, again, a point for survival and planets that we feel like, of course, while there's plenty more to come, this was a good opportunity, a good point to get the players in, playing, and giving feedback as early as it made sense. So again, Mark, I feel like this is staying true to our kind of vision for how we release content, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want to do it, basically, you want to have some minimum viable prototype. And you want to release it as early as possible, but not too early. And then the trick is in finding that right balance, right? Because we can be polishing, optimizing, especially adding forever.
Yes.
And so it's really like looking at like where you cross the threshold of this. If you release this, it's a meaningful step for players, and them giving us the feedback is meaningful. But you don't want to prolong it for too long. So that's VS2. One difference compared to how we were doing it with SE1 in the past is that we kind of polish everything that is in the game. Maybe there are some tiny exceptions, but in general, that, for example, all the sound effects are in the game and in like a good quality. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll be improving them, for example, in the future slightly, but like I don't feel bad about them as they are right now.
Yeah,
and that's true about almost everything. With SE1, when we're releasing, like, for example, we wouldn't do the sound effects, we just release sound effects without particle effects and so on. So with SE2, we are doing it differently. But still, I think it's true that we will be changing something. So as I said, like the colonization system, this is just the first step. there will be some, I wouldn't say big changes, but there will be some changes to colonization system and to many other things.
All to come. And I say with that, guys, this kind of brings us to the end of the main VS2 feature set. And there's, of course, you can check out everything in the very detailed changelog. We won't do that right now, but you can definitely look at the changelog to the full list of features and changes and bug fixes and everything. So definitely check that out if you're curious to see all that went into this. So Sam, we're going to try and get into this a bit of gameplay and Q&A as soon as possible here, because I know the players are, kind of dying to have some questions answered here. So again, we have our end screen, just summarize what we have here. Again, want to touch on the Pioneer Edition. We did mention it earlier. I'll hand this to Aaron again to hype this up.
So the Pioneer Edition has been expanded once again. There's a beautiful art book, loads of detail in there. Just check it out. I feel like I'm just going to repeat myself and drag out the time between this and the gameplay. So let's get to that gameplay, Joe. Let's do it.
All right. Pioneer Edition, check it out. There's lots and lots of good stuff in there that all the team kind of came together to kind of submit good content for. Celebratory sale.
This is all in the end, the outro. So I'll be covering all of this if you would like
should we? Okay, should we actually cover this? Okay.
Because all of this is in the outro.
Well, what I will do is I think we can still touch on a little this section about what's next. So there is a sale going on. So I think while we're on the page, we can say, so there's a 20% discount running until December 8th. And not very long. You've only got a week to make use of this. So maybe you've got some friends, some family who want to dive in here. As This is a big...
Goodbye, your mum, Space Engineers.
There you go. the best Christmas gift there is. So that's a little point here. And really rushing through this here. I hope I'm not rushing too much. We have basically what's next. And this is extremely exciting as well. As today's exciting, but there's plenty more to come. So just looking over again, here we are at Vertical Slice 2, Planet Survivor Foundations. There's going to be regular updates, new contracts and sectors coming in Q1 2026. Q1/Q2, we're going to have Vertical Slice 2.2, mechanical blocks, block tools, weapons, and much more. Vertical Slice 3, targeting 2026 still. Planetary scale volumetric water and the water planet Biblos. Vertical Slice 4, NPCs and 4-person multiplayer, also targeting next year. So a beginning here for playing with both other kind of your kind of players in the community, but also NPCs, which is a huge deal. And then beyond that, we're looking at a bigger multiplayer, full multiplayer storyline and campaign kind of beyond Vertical Slice 4. So that's a little overview of what's next. And then we also got a bit of a teaser. Oh, Matt, go ahead.
If I may,
please.
It's actually a special moment. Maybe you are not realizing it, but this is first time in Kine history where we're actually using some dates in the
scary. How do you feel, Marek? Do you feel okay about it? You feel relaxed?
Yeah, okay, because I'm quite confident in our team's ability to deliver on time. So because we've proven it with VS1 and VS2 and also the smaller ones in between. So I'm quite confident, and I think it also is good to give this message or this signal to players, so they have some more certainty, not so much uncertainty. Like God knows when the next vertical slice will be.
Sure.
Can be a year or who knows. So now we are trying to be a little bit more precise.
And I think there was stages we weren't sure VS2 would come out this year, right? There was some kind of, we were like, but all that matters is in the end, it happened.
Well, I was going to say, you say that. We always predicted it'd be here around this time.
Yeah.
And we're here with it now. And they've got their hands on it
December
1st. Before the end of the year. We got there. The team worked really hard behind the scenes, working out different things, trying to make sure it was as polished as possible for you guys.
Yeah, but the goal was really to release it before end of this year, or way before end of this year. And I think this is the right time that we got, for example, we could have released it, let's say 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. But I think these extra few weeks help us to polish and bug fix things more. But it's not too late, it's not like middle of December or end of December. So I think the timing actually worked quite well. But when we were planning it and everything, we knew that we need to set the scope for VS2 in a way that is manageable by the size of the team and everything. let's say roughly now or until now, and we did it, and then throughout the development we are actively managing it. So when we see that some things are taking too long, and so like we basically changed the focus and we stopped some things and moved them to VS 2.2 or somehow for some future polish milestone, just to make sure that we really can release it, because there is a big risk when we start to like be too perfectionist and we want to have everything, and then we never finish something. So you really need to always look on what's your scope and actively manage it.
Definitely, and I think it's been handled well, and I know the players have been appreciating the way that this has been kind of released information, and how we're really trying to be as transparent as possible for you guys about this, that you feel clued in with everything that's happening. And just a little bit, I love how it's called Survival Extensions here, and talking about extensions, we have a piston. So a little look here at a Space Engineers 2 piston. I mean, there's more here. We're talking about mechanical blocks, functional block tools, weapons, area welding, block wrappers, full GPS system, much more. This is all again for 2.2. But there we have a very nice piston, and look how massive that piston is. There's an engineer here for scale. So
I can already see what the players are going to title 2.2, the induction of Clang.
Oh no! Let's let. Well, you never know when Clang might come, but we're gonna Clang Mark II, exactly. So yeah, there's a little teaser here for pistons. Scrolling down, a teaser here for rotors, and a teaser here for hinges. So all blocks that we love. We're not done with the teasers. What could this be? Wheels. I know that's another big one that came up with planets. People were saying, "Oh, we want to build rovers," and believe me, I want to build a rover too. So that is also all this good stuff. I think 2.2. I think honestly, for some players, is like going to be the update. It's funny, like some mechanical blocks. That's like everything for a lot of our community.
You can do so much more.
Yes, so I will just add some clarification. So VS 2.2 will be rotors and piston.
Okay.
And the wheels and the hinge, more like an internal prototype or work in progress. So even the wheels, for example, we just want to make some internal tests, but we are not sure that we'll be releasing wheels in 2.2.
Okay. I like everything. Like it needs to be at a good stage, a good kind of threshold before releasing. But still, you guys can see what is cooking in at Keen Software House here. So very nice. And also we have another nice concept with Mike Hamlet as well. So what could this be, I wonder? Cool stuff. And I'm gonna again. So we're just talking about volumetric water coming in VS3. We kind of cover this again with the map. Beautiful screenshots. Look at that screenshot. I'm sure you're seeing this as well, Sam. But was this a mix of people from the team gathered these screenshots?
This was a mix of people.
Yeah, man. This is the screensavers all over the place. Again, talking how we working parallel for VS3 and VS4. So the final release order may depend what kind of finishes first. And nothing is like 100% set in stone, guys, both from like the feedback point of view, but also internally. We're going to do what makes sense, I think. There's a full roadmap you can click, and I believe we're going to leave it there because there's some Q&A, like you're just, again, asking questions about that, but we'll kind of get to that now. And I'm now going to dive into some gameplay. So we'll load up the first initial kind of experience, and all the guys, obviously, you can feel free to add some commentary, and if there are questions in the chat, we can start to address them, I think. So let us boot the game up, guys, all right? I'm going to put up the end screen while I just prep this. So Aaron, just while I get this ready, feel free, man. If there's questions,
I'm going to head over to the big screen because since we've been going that long, the laptop has passed away on me. So if you guys have got some questions, it's now the time to drop them, and we'll see what we can do to answer them while the gameplay comes up.
There was a question about planets in creative.
Oh, so when they're talking, I think about when they boot up, our story mode, they cannot play it in creative at the moment.
Yeah. Sam, can you say something about that? Because we discussed this.
Yeah, so for the time being, it was, as I said, we were really just pushing for survival in VS2 out. If you really, really, really want it, I might be able to make on my own time a world with survival in planets and creative as a little bonus feature. But as I said, our core focus was survival.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Clarifying that there. But I know, of course, obviously players are going to want to play around and create as well.
There's some super good questions popping up here. So there's someone asking, is there going to be some animals in Space Engineers 2?
No. There is not planned, just human NPCs. But maybe in the future, when after we finish the game and release it out of early access, we'll start working on some new updates and expansions and so on. And I have some ideas about animals, but it's a big topic, to be honest, and I would like to do it like a big thing, not just like, let's add a few cows and dogs, but I really have some, I think, good idea how to what to do with animals and how to treat it in a, let's call it engineering direction. So yeah.
So another question that I saw pop up is players were thinking, is there going to be an expansion on this scenario? Because in Space Engineers 1, they had the drop pod scenario, and here they're placed. Maybe we could talk a little bit, Sam, as well, about the design of why they're placed in that area to start them, rather than just being dropped randomly somewhere on the planet.
Yeah, so the survival experience that you currently have is the kind of full first-time user experience for Space Engineers 2. So we guide you through those first kind of steps on Vajir. If you're already a veteran SE1 player, there may be things you do not understand. If you're someone who's new, coming into the Space Engineers universe for the first time, it's really important that we can kind of guide you through this process and get you going, at least with the basics. Which is why we can't just drop you anywhere at the moment. We drop you in a very specific place. This also then ties in with the story. Because as you move through the FTE, you actually move through the initial parts of the story as well.
Yeah, and the reason for this was that we really wanted one unified way how the players are introduced to the game. We didn't want to have like 10 different ways, because then that means that we would need to be supporting and optimizing all these 10 different ways. So it's actually better to invest that energy into just one way. But we are considering that for example, we can add some creative scenario, with the planets, or we can add actually a sandbox survival scenario without the FTE and without the story. We'll see. We decided for the VS2 to not do it, to keep it really simple, and then wait on the feedback from players.
Now, I saw another one that popped up that you probably didn't be able to answer. Will there be moons in Space Engineers 2?
Yes, and actually that's VS 2.2. So there are a couple of moons that will be added. We probably didn't mention it, but yeah, forgot. But there will be a couple of moons, and
it's a big deal.
Yeah. We've already seen some of them on the bi-weekly. Actually, this week.
They're looking really nice.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is, guys, what we'll do is, Aaron, we'll just play that first initial thing. And we're going to get right back to the questions very shortly here, guys. So I'm just going to bring up the game. So here we go. New screen, everything's nicely summarized. We can see what's done, where you are here, and then also, of course, upcoming here as well. So this obviously a nicely updated screen. We're going to come on in. I'm going to just verify. Looks like it might have changed. Let me just double check this. Oh, no, it's good. We're good. Okay, perfect. So what I'll do is we'll come to new game.
And there it is. Survival.
And there it is, survival, colonize the Almager system. So we're going to do that. Well, we're going to start doing that. So let's load it in here and see what we've got. I know the chat wanted gameplay.
Yeah, you give the chat gameplay and you turn my music well up.
I don't know what that is. That's so weird, Aaron. I'm sorry about that. If your ears are bleeding. Never had that before. It's very strange. It wasn't that last week, was it?
No, it wasn't. We would change.
This thing was misbehaving, wasn't it, today? So it could be related.
Oh, it's good though. It's good.
Just blast.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the game you're hearing now. It's the game music. So, and I say, guys, is anyone running this on 1440p or like 4K? Because I have been, and it's running really nicely actually.
10,000 years. Everyone we know, every generation after them, will be gone by the time we arrive.
But we'll be at the Almager system, colonizing across the stars, expanding humanity, building everyone's future.
We're the part of the final wave, Miro. Lost to leave and not knowing what we are walking into.
We will face whatever comes together. The first wave of ships, the Napier, the Shanong, they laid the foundation. We will complete their legacy. We left Earth in 2093. Over 1,000 years into our journey, and the first time waking up to refuel felt like a short nap. Yvonne and I wake at each of the 10 refueling stops, harvesting Perez particles deposited from dying stars, programming the warp drive's next jump, and then going back to sleep until the next one. Everyone else is sleeping and dreaming of the Almagest system, our destination. Past the halfway mark, and the warp drive is as perfect as the day it was installed. We are on track to arrive exactly when we are supposed to.
I don't know. I have this feeling in my stomach that there's something waiting for us in the darkness.
I hope you're wrong, Yvonne.
There it is, Delphos, and Almagest shining in the distance.
I'm picking up something.
They're heading right for us.
We can't evade it. Brace for impact.
Damn, I knew it. We need to abandon ship.
Not an option. Some of them didn't make it.
You tried to save the ship, and look what it cost me.
43 cryopods breached. The rest are stable, but the ship is busted.
So we're dead.
No, Verger is in range of the escape pods. I can make planetfall, find resources, and help.
You mean leave me here, alone, in a crashed ship?
You are too injured to make the trip. The colonists need someone here to monitor them and keep things stable.
This is your fault. We could have made it out just fine if we'd left when I said so.
I'm sorry.
Fine. Go be the hero. Again.
I'll be as quick as I can, promise.
Whatever.
Amazing, right?
Oh. Got some goosebumps then.
Yeah, I did. Oh, it's so good. What do you think of that, guys? Marek, I say, like, again, obviously you went for the whole blog, and then we've kind of, this is kind of the climax here, actually getting to jump in.
Got a bit excited over there.
Yeah, but seriously, like, just sat here together watching that intro there with the stream. But definitely, if this really, guys, is like, should get you hyped for, you know, what is to come from Space Engineers 2 and the story, and, you know, what the team is aiming for, right, Mara? This is just...
So it's like the first step of immersing you in your experience. You're no longer just thrown into the world. You're you know, slowly propelled into it. And when that SE2 logo came up then on the screen, it was like, oh yeah.
Very cool as well, Sam, right?
Yeah, I'm actually very happy that we can do a story in SE2, and so the whole game has a lore.
But just barely.
Sorry.
How are the colonists?
The cryopods are
Well,
stable.
We'll let this play, and then I'll let... Sorry, I didn't mean to...
Hold on, I think you need to...
Yeah, go ahead, Mark, sorry.
So yeah, I'm really excited that we can do a story for SE2, And it's a story about two brothers, Miro and Ivan, who are traveling to Almagest for 10,000 years. They are the pilots of the sleeper ship Calypso. When they arrive to Almagest, there is something hits them. They have trouble, and then Miro decides to go to Verger, find some help and some resources. So he makes the planetfall, and that's where the FTUE, what we call like first-time user experience, starts. And you as a player, you are Miro, and you progress. And we really want to develop the relationship of these two brothers more throughout the story in later vertical slices. This is just the start. And as I said, like, I'm super happy. We've been working on this intro cutscene for the last couple of months.
A lot of work.
Some shout-outs, perhaps, maybe. Dennis out there, Thomas, Carol.
Yes, and Janusz.
Yeah. Huge amount of work, yeah.
So that's that. But again, as everything will be improving, so even the cutscene actually will get improvements in the future, and yeah, I'm really happy.
It's so good, and honestly, reading the chat, Marek, as well. I can see the players absolutely are loving this. It's and your guys, your feedback, your comments. I know that it means a lot to the whole team. So do appreciate.
Should we
that.
take a few steps forward and hear a little bit of the voiceover?
Yeah, we can. I rudely interrupted there when I walked. I didn't realize I took a few steps and it started here. Hold on, where's my mouse? So here we are on Verger.
That world is beautiful. The clouds, grass.
Seeing the crash ship.
I think we have a couple of encounters that have already spawned.
Oh, yeah, unknown signals. So first steps to reconnect. So here we are, we're exploring. Let's run up here. What a beautiful planet it is. And here, of course, we're seeing
The first ship.
the first ship and also this beautiful new projection effect
Yeah.
we have here.
I love this projection effect. I think the render guys did such a great job.
It also
really
changes. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you're talking, Sam. I can't hear you. Is it Sam talking?
Sam's talking,
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Sam.
Yeah, I was saying it really drives home the difference between projected blocks and built blocks, with the kind of constant animation effect, the kind of the staticness of it. I think it really has that quality sci-fi look to it.
And I love when you pull the drill out. It's so satisfying. It's like this.
Yeah. Because I was going to quickly mention, if you whip your welder out quickly and have a look at the hologram as well, it'll highlight a little bit of what block you're working on.
Yeah.
And then if you also hit R, it'll switch between the resources and components.
It's a big deal.
So as you start to learn this, and you can also see the tool in front of you has that level 1 symbol. So these are little hints that the HUD gives you, to know exactly what you're doing.
No, it's superb. It really is. So we're going to go into the cave here. Get our drill out.
I found an unfinished atmospheric ship. I'm heading into what looks like an old mine.
So
Maybe I
what
can
we
find some
also
ores to repair
start
it.
to see, obviously a little bit behind on the video, is the onboarding tooltips that
Yep.
will be coming up shortly.
Just like how to use certain systems in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got like a hair or something in the center. Let's see.
Perfect.
Good news, the drill still works. I've detected multiple ore deposits.
Maybe it can find a better brother while it's at it.
Yvonne, I know you're still angry, but I'm gonna make this right.
Just don't forget about me up here.
And you also saw a little bit there of the auto light, how we came into the
yeah, I was
cave
gonna-
and the light switched on automatically, and when you go back out, it turns off again.
And you can also set it to manual lighting if you want to as well by cycling through with the L key.
Yep. And this is, I think, what Sam was talking about, just like these initial onboarding tooltips. So now talking about jetpack, it has all the jetpack controls, and so yeah, we're kind of removing this need for a specific tutorial or very very nicely teaching the player how to use each part of the game here. Gonna crouch. Now we can start drilling.
The crouch is iconic, isn't it, really? But you've got to have a crouch tutorial. If you don't have that, then...
Back in the day, some Call of Duty. It's quite loud. Now you can see here that new collection system, but also the tooltips on the screen.
Yeah, so it'll pop up on your HUD, show you how much you've already collected, and it'll add it to the stack on the little menu, so as you're drilling, you can see all that there.
And sure there.
Somebody's asking like how to see the hotkeys or the help with the key. So actually, if you press F1, girl, you will see this. So there are the basic controls, advanced controls, and welcome engineer.
Yeah, all of this to help you here. A nice letter from Marek there, and the advanced controls. So you can always press F1 as well. That's true. So I've got to get 920 kilos of iron ore. Let's see, and I can press tab, and this is one of the kind of new inventory screens here. So actually, it looks like I've got enough iron now. Now we're just going to go find the silicon. I think it's back in the other room.
It's actually above you.
Oh, is it? Wait, you sure? No, I think... Oh, you're right. You are right. You've played this many, many times, Sam.
Joel, I could run the FTE with my eye closed.
I want to see that now.
Yeah.
Because it might be even worth Sam touching on a bit of the evolutions of this tutorial, as we've been working through it, all, the refinements, the things that we spotted over time and that have been fixed, because outside the platform originally looked completely different. All the outposts did as well.
Yeah, so a lot of iteration and time went into making the FTUE. It's also trying to balance it so it's not completely spoon feeding you everything. So you have to do a little bit of movement through the world yourself, but not have it so complicated that you didn't know where you were going. For a veteran SE1 player, most of the stuff that you were taught you would probably already know. But for someone new, it's going to be imperatively useful to them. But we've added various details, such as the thing that Joel just kind of threw off the edge. There's crates added that are dynamic. They're just sitting there. They're not even kind of static grids on the landing pad that you can just crash those off. And just really starting to iterate, making the world feel more lived in than sterilely placed.
Yeah.
And we will continue to look at that.
And now we're, of course, seeing backpack building. So we're seeing the ore that we kind of gathered, and it's now kind of being auto-processed in our backpack. And when I start welding this up, I can switch between, again, the raw mode and component mode. But what you'll see is there's another bar appears when I start welding, crafting components. So you see that flying up top there. And we've completed that one. And now we're going to weld up the battery as well. So that's all that we need for this ship now.
So, what's the plan?
I'll look
And
for
if
a
you
way to
also
reach
see
its
as well
base
that we show
and
you.
gather the materials and components to repair the Calypso.
Then move fast. I've been stuck on this ship for 10,000 years. I don't want to spend another second on it.
Sorry, just letting the voiceover play there. Sam, carry on, sorry, man.
It's funny because all Aaron has had is audio the entire time.
I
I've
know,
not had,
sorry,
and
Aaron.
I've not had it at all, so I don't know. Where
Oh,
it's
I know, yeah.
But yeah, what I was saying is that also on the block integrity screen is that we have how much you have in your backpack there as well, so you'll know if you have enough, know if you'll need more. Once again, really trying to give you that information that you need to keep building.
Yeah. So I'm taking off. I'm leaving behind the initial landing pad, being sure not to crash. That would be pretty bad to crash now.
We have got a few checkpoints dotted through the FTUE as well, so if you crash, you can reload.
Some players will need those, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gone too mad with it because it's very hard to realize what you've done. And if you've gone on some kind of adventure and smashed a key part of a grid,
Yeah.
and we save it, then that's not great. So they're sparse, but they kind of get you to the three main areas through the FTUE. You can go take a look at that encounter on your right if you want, good. Joe.
I'm just going to land here because what we're going to do is, Sam, we're not going to play too much of this first time user experience today because in the interest of time, but also I think different creators have covered it, and I think a lot of the players will jump in and experience it for the first time as
Yeah.
well. I just really wanted to show that initial intro, but also just show the game and how good it looks. So I think what I'll do is, for this next step, I'm actually just gonna like walk off and check out some of the foliage here. I mean, look at this planet, guys.
The density of the forest as well. Wow.
It feels so good.
And then the
Every
rocks,
time
giant rocks. Look at them.
It's gonna take a while for me to be like, oh yeah, this is space. Like I think for a while I'm still gonna have like this wow kind of factor when I load this up.
See, I keep having the same issue. I keep seeing spots and like, I want to build there, you know, and then there's another spot over there. Oh, I want to build there. That looks like a great base location. And you do feel small as a character below these trees as well. That's really nice.
Oh yeah.
I think that's actually something we've done really well, is that the planet's the same size as Space Engineers 1, but they feel 10 times bigger.
Yeah. It's a conversation that I think that comes up, I think, both in the community and I guess internally too, but I think that's where you guys just diving in and feeling how these planets feel size-wise and how and getting around them is going to be a big deal. So this is looking amazing. What I will show as well while I'm here, this is the battery, and you can see that I can take out these power modules and then I'll insert them in with the highest charge. So it's a way I could replace the battery that's in the ship here, for example. Sorry, someone.
No, I was just saying there's a few questions popping up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mara could probably answer this one, and I think it's a good question, really. Like, is the backpack building going to be expanded on so that people can refine components and do more advanced things, or is it just a simple sort of introductory system to get people building?
It's more like the introductory system. And so for really more advanced components and blocks, you will need the smelter and fabricators and assemblers and those things that Sam was explaining. And but we'll see. We'll be thinking about this, to be honest. And there are a few things that we still need to think about when you are building from raw ore or from components. Actually, in VS 2.2, we want to add block wrappers. So we'll be also, like working on the level of block wrappers, not individual individual components. Again, to simplify it for some players who just want to think in terms of blocks and not the components and so on. And then at some point we'll actually need to think like how to unify these three different systems, how to weld, because like we wanted to reduce the complexity, but in a sense we actually added it, because now you can build from ore and components, and then there will be also block wrappers. So at some point we'll need to polish it and wrap it up.
The other question that popped up here, Sam might be able to help with this one, is a lot of people have commented on ore detection range from the drills and the other. And is there anything you could comment on why we particularly picked that range? Because a lot of people feel it's a little bit too short.
So obviously there's lots of balancing still to be done. The current range was more than it is in SE1.
Definitely, yeah.
I think it might even be double for the hand drill actually. But it's finding the balance, right? Anything more, you're going to be absolutely spammed with ore signals, and it's already quite a rich planet in terms of ore. If we do less, then you're going to struggle to find it. So, it felt like a good in between for the time being. If people obviously have very strong feelings either way, pop the feedback on the support portal, and we can revisit it.
I was thinking as well, looking across this, you guys can imagine that this scene might look quite different with VS3, right? I'll say no more, but this is, you can definitely see what's coming. Well, yeah.
Now, another good question that has popped up here is, can they turn off this tutorial at this moment in time if they just want to start playing it?
Not yet. It's not currently possible. The tutorial they can actually get through very quickly if they are an SE1 veteran. And then they just save it, and then that save is the, post-tutorial save, as it were.
Yeah, but actually, if you just ignore the tutorial, nothing will happen. You can play. Of course, then you will not progress in the colonization progress of Almagest, but you can still play. So, and we will look into this like a no tutorial or no story way of playing the game later, but for now we wanted to keep it simple and just wanted to have one option.
Because the other question that I've seen popped up as well is people just want to play with planets in creative. Is that something we're going to address in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just going to weld this up. I found there's a new way of doing that. So this is again, guys, you can see how I've got the raw mode, which I just applied some iron that I had left over. But I can press R and I can switch to the component mode because I grinded down those conveyors outside. Which isn't, on the tutorial, it's asking you to actually mine, but it's a little speed run tip there.
There's another question that keeps repeating, and this is: are program blocks / scripting blocks planned? Is there anything we can share on that, Marek?
Yeah, definitely. Not in the near vertical slices that we are currently working on, because the focus will be really water, NPCs, and co-op multiplayer. But I think, sometime later we will do programmable blocks.
Okay. And I know we've had a few questions about the replay tool or
yes.
Yeah, so players
making
can make their own
cinematics,
cinematics.
yes. It'll come for sure. I think it's one of those things that it's.
I mean, the replay tool is already currently in the game, but it's in the dev settings, so only available to us.
So what I'll do is, guys, I won't progress any further today in the kind of first time user experience, and I think I'll leave it for you guys to discover. And I think what we can do is we can start to bring today's stream to a close. We definitely went over here, but that's okay because we've had to get through a lot of good stuff. So I guess if there's a few more questions, Aaron and Marek, that you want to pull out of, I know there's going to be even more, but we'll try and hit some of the heavy hitters here, and then just kind of go over some of those final points.
Okay, let's see what we've got, guys. Bring them in.
And if you see anything too, Sam, from the chat,
there's some fun questions. There's a few good ones about NPCs and how NPCs work. Like, will they be able to board your ships? And maybe we touched on this in the interview the other day, but maybe explain a bit how you want NPCs to actually interact with players.
So either, like, the simple one is the NPCs that you can meet at a station, and they will inhabit the station and do some work there and so on, maybe give you quests. So that's one. But the other, I think, more interesting is NPCs that you meet in the encounters or throughout the missions, and NPCs that can be hostile towards you. And we'll see how far we'll go with this, what we call use cases for the NPCs, that if they will be able to, basically, like, how long-term goals they will be able to maintain, if they will be just like, like shooting or actively pursuing you and flying ships and going from ship to ship and building stuff, and so we'll see. But I think it will be similar to how it is in other games. That's the maybe simple way to.
Okay. Now another question I did see is, how can you disable a HUD? Now, do you want to press U and just see if it is the U key for me?
It is the U key.
That is changed, yeah.
So it is the U key. So that's what it changed to, because other controls took over there. I don't know if Sam can explain that.
We did some external playtests, and obviously many games these days use tab as an inventory, and we found that everyone was just reaching for tab constantly and losing their HUD. So we kind of changed them around and made tab inventory. Personally, something that I love. I've been able to just hit tab over my inventory. It's a very comfortable position for me.
And people probably are accessing that more. Like, actually, from when I think back, think about make videos or whatever, like, often I'm always hitting tab to hide my UI. But I think from a player point of view, players aren't normally hiding their like, their HUD, right? They're probably more accessing their inventory,
it's an interesting
especially in
one,
survival. But
because sometimes you get to a viewpoint, don't you, and you want to just turn it off and enjoy the view.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of players who are just sitting there every now, or even flying, turning the HUD off and then turning it back on quickly. So still having it there is a great feature.
Yeah, it's making it not accidentally pressed. I think that's the big thing, right? Tab is a very easy thing to kind of catch with your WASD hand, and U is a little bit more deliberate to hide. So that's why we moved that over.
Okay.
Have we got a time for another question, or is Sam still talking?
I was gonna say, I just saw a question if you didn't see one, but you can go first.
There's so many questions. Oh, Sam, go.
Oh
Sam,
no,
go for it, Sam.
I asked the question. I said, do you want me to go my question or your question?
Oh, your question, Sam. Go for it.
Whatever. So I saw someone asking about how to add GPS. There is a initial way to do that via the map screen now.
Oh,
Go to
yeah.
the map screen, and then go to the GPS tab. There's a button that says Add GPS marker. That will add it at your current location.
So there we go. Actually showcasing this a little bit here as well. We didn't open this, but here we can see the lovely colonization map screen, and we can see our currently 0% progress. But you can imagine filling out these the sector process progress and the overall colonization progress as well here. So
Yeah, and you can see Delphos
yep,
and
the chemic sector.
yeah. By the
And
way, you can travel to Delphos. It will take some time, but you can travel there. I think honestly you will not find anything special, but you can travel there. But in the future you will not be able to travel to Delphos because Delphos will have a killing field and simply it will not be possible. Another interesting thing about this colonization map is the star Almagest that we can see in the left top corner. It's also orbiting in the colonization map. So if you leave it open for a longer time, I didn't try it, but
Yeah.
it will probably
You'll
you
see
can do a
it.
time lapse.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Okay,
Small sneak peeks there.
another little question that's popped up and it's been repeated, so we're gonna shout it out. Is there any plan to make tethered aiming? So when you're flying a ship and you move the mouse around, turn it on and off, so you could fly like an old SE ship.
I don't know if that's planned, Sam, but you know, like the kind of control
Mm-hmm.
scheme. What do you think?
We are currently not having any plans to change that at the moment. We wanted to support one control scheme for the time being. Obviously, no idea what happens in the future, but for the time being, that's our ship control scheme.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, we talked about key bindings, and I do think, guys, there's space for that kind of thing to be available in the future. It's just there's so many things to add. So as always, it's if you guys have the passion for these changes, these additions, then definitely make them known on that support portal. That's a big one. I know Vashik wanted us to say support portal 10 times. So support portal, guys, is super important.
So this is actually a really good question. Is if someone drilled out a whole mountain range, would they be able to see that change from space? That was a Chando question. That was...
Actually not, I don't think. I think because the way it changes, it has so that the kind of far out clip map, I believe, is baked. So you wouldn't have that kind of voxel change thing that you have in SE1 where you can see where people have been digging. It will still just look like the planet from far away, and then as you get closer, I think it would update to show changes. I think. I haven't had time to strip mine an entire planet yet. But
Not yet.
someone prove me wrong. I'd happily be proven wrong to see if that was the case.
Yeah. It's a 52 gig SDK update as well. I mean, we knew the SDK was updated, but that's a lot of juice in the.
Should we follow up with two more questions?
I think so,
two more
yeah.
good questions
Before we hit the 3 hour mark.
We'll hit the outro there.
Sounds good, Aaron.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
have
see
to-
what
we'll
we've
have
got.
to do-
Save your best ones. Give us something about VS2 question-wise. I know you all want to know if your feature that you're thinking about is going to be in the game, but let's have, some. So we've got. Let's have a look. Can we find the Crash Colony ship from the trailer?
Not yet.
Is a Marek question?
But in the future updates, you will, because it will be part of the story.
Yeah. That's a good point. People watch that and think, "Oh, I gotta go find.
It's cruel.
Gotta go find Ivan."
It'd be cruel. They're checking every asteroid everywhere.
Asteroid,
Right.
Looking for Ivan.
And he's there like, "Please."
But the way
brother."
that ship broke apart, it was gorgeous, wasn't it?
It
just
was.
snapped apart and
It
rolled
was.
away. Yeah. Now there is another question that keeps popping up about aerodynamics. Marek, I don't know if you want to just answer this one for the minute.
Probably not in the like what do you call like 1.0 version.
In the near future, maybe.
Yeah, maybe later, after the game is out of early access and we can start doing, let's say, like going more on tangents,
Yeah.
Right now we really are very strict about the scope and prioritizing everything that gets into this scope and what can then be added later, because basically every idea will prolong releasing the game, finalizing the game, and so on. So, and also we really want to keep it clear what is the core of SC2 and what isn't.
The expansion, I guess.
Is an expansion or can be added later. By the way, the ship is moving.
Oh, it's because I didn't.
I think it moved actually.
Did it? Am I tripping?
Maybe,
I'm not sure.
Maybe we have multiplayer and we didn't even know about it.
Can you imagine?
I don't know what happened.
Devs sneak into your game and start moving your grids around.
That would be fun. Like that would be like an Easter egg. If like imagine we just sat here and like this static, and then suddenly you just saw like another engineer just running in the background.
Yeah. That would be the ultimate tease.
That would be a massive tease. It's like, was that an NPC? Was that another player? Yeah, that would be crazy.
And that looks like it's about it. I think I'm not seeing too.
Well,
many
there's a
ones.
lot of questions, like a lot of like smaller questions, very specific questions, guys. But as we always try to keep these streams compact. We slightly failed today, but I don't know. We weren't particularly slow. It's a massive update that's been a long time in the making. So we'll have more streams in the near future, and there's always going to be more time. And I still think a lot of your questions can be found either by going for the blog post if you join a bit later, or by just jumping into the game. I think a lot of your questions can be answered. So I think we can start going through the kind of final reminders.
So the final reminders was we're going to continue releasing some nice tip videos on the channel. There's also quite a few out there. Our curators are doing a great job at getting the information. Loads of them will be live streaming tonight, and you'll see more content released through the week. So jump yourself on YouTube or wherever you like to collect your social media from and see what they're working on. So what to expect from the future is we're going to have some daily hot fixes. Get your bugs reported, get them submitted in through the portal so we can work on fixing them as quickly as possible. And really remember, the feedback that we get here is going to lay the foundation, of survival. So we want feedback on the survival mechanics, how they work, how you play through that introductory tutorial, so we can improve it. So just a quick reminder of all the merch as well. As you can see here in front of us, we have got the lovely new plushie Space Engineers 2 on Makership. And we've also got new if we had space puzzles, that'd be cool. But we've got more posters on Zazzle.
Beautiful posters, actually. Really nice.
Yep. And of course, we have the Steam competition at the moment. So get your votes in for Space Engineers 1 and Space Engineers 2. Head over there. And while you're there, maybe you could even wishlist it if you've not got Space Engineers just yet. And of course, our music competition wraps up. And it's going to have a lovely live stream on Friday, December the 12th. There is so many entries for this.
I told you. These music contests always
really
crazy.
There's a ton of music that is just fabulous to listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, even I tried to remix some tracks, and it didn't end very well, so I didn't submit anything. But, so that's pretty much it. Make sure you wish list, give us a follow. Marek's blogs and his dev diary are always popping out each week as well, so there's always been information to find there, and we're trying to remain as transparent as possible so that you can get your information from us.
I think that covered a lot of those key points there. I'm just going to, with the update, just saying again, this Vertical Slice 2, it's laying this foundation of survival, and it's a massive step into kind of defining how the game's future from here, and it's going to be expanded upon every update. There's so much good stuff to come. 2.2 is already in the works. We shared a little bit of what's in that, and it's extremely exciting. So,
and as we've said though, this is a great time to get into Space Engineers with the introduction of planets.
It really is. So I'm going to hand it first to Sam here to just kind of give us some final thoughts on today's amazing release. Thank you again so much for joining us, Sam.
No, thank you for having me. It's just incredible to see all the feedback that we've been getting from our players, the YouTubers who've covered some of the previews as well. Just watching them lost for words as they walked around the planets has been an amazing experience for me, and it's been a great update to work on. Right, you get to see those sunrises every single day during your workday. I mean, what more can you ask for?
That's it. You couldn't have said it better, Sam. It's been amazing seeing the build up, and now we get to sit back and see the kind of reactions and just seeing people dive in, screenshots, builds, all of it. So of course, I'm gonna hand it to Marek now to kind of bring us to a close on today's stream.
Yeah. So thanks Joel and Aaron for hosting this stream. Amazing. Thanks Sam for being here with us and also for working on the game for such a long time and with such a passion. And also thanks to Chendo if he's still listening to us, and thanks to everybody who joined the stream and was here with us and gave us the questions, but also very interesting feedback in the comments.
Yeah.
I think now is for you. Now it's time for you to get into the game and start colonizing Almagest.
Definitely. Get on it. Colonize away. We can't wait, guys. So thank you so much. And yes, definitely thank you to Chender as well for joining us for that the really big segment earlier covering some of that tech. So thank you, guys. Aaron, you had something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, a massive thank you to the whole team as well that have been working behind the scenes to get this happening. Without them, we wouldn't be here right now.
True, very true. And to the community, I think that's the last one to finish on. You guys are the very best. It's you give a lot of kind of enjoyment to the whole team to see your reactions, to see what you do, and this is, I think, now what we're going to be doing right after this stream. I think just seeing how many players are we up to now. I'm wondering. We had 4,000 earlier, so I'm definitely curious how many players we have checking out the game right now. So thank you, guys. We're going to play the trailer one more time, and we'll see you in the next stream. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much. What a trailer. Let's play it. The right one this time.